twilight lies gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, and the home of the brave? Because we are the brave. Yes, we are the brave. We'll fight to rename the name of the brave. We are the U.S. of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save. This land of the brave, the U.S. of A. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, and the home of the
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. I'll be right with you. Give people a minute to come in. Hope everyone has been making it a good day today. Little nitty. Hey, Miss Billy, Loretta, Roni, D-Dog, Rabbit, a wild dragon in the house. What's up, Miss Williams? No snow, no snow. What's up, Tactical Muffin Top? Afternoon. I'll be right with y'all. All right, let's see. Guess y'all can hear me okay, I hope. Let's see, we'll put the link in. Anybody wants to come up. I'm gonna be on for just a little bit. Not too long, but just wanted to come hang out. Got a little stuff done this morning and then had to come in. Somehow in these old days now, the cold weather and the bones and the muscles just don't all seem to jive. Everybody seems to be talking a different language. No, I had to keep my ears warm. So how y'all today? It's been just, I don't know. It's a good day. It's cold as shit. I mean, at least down here, I know all y'all got all that cold stuff, but it's a good day. Just kind of, I don't know, just hadn't really been tuned into like all the latest greatest type stuff. I mean, I get the gist. They found him guilty. Not surprising, you know. I, I do find that whole. You want to talk about a chicken shit crawfishing sentence? This is called. I'm going to sentence you, but I'm really not going to. So I'm trying to please both of you, and it ain't gonna work. It's kind of. What's up, Super Dave? Oh, I get that anyway. With the titanium plate up here, Super Dave, hell, I can tell when the weather drops. That titanium starts getting a little cool. And son, that's what used to rack me. But that ain't shit compared to the spine stuff now. So that's actually what I laugh and tell the missus going, hell, for 20 years, I used to bitch about my neck and how bad all that hurt with that titanium plate up there. Ain't shit compared to that whole spinal crap right back there. I don't know, Super Dave. To be honest, it's never come up. But there was now they. I know that they all talked about it before, so I'm assuming, they're all worried about it. But I would like to think that we have this. I don't know, man, because I like to think that things on a on a legit field, that it's like, that would be fraudulent. But then we kind of look at where we're at now, and apparently everything's on the table. So hell, just think of some shit. I'm sure you can do that. Why not? And so I don't know. What's up, Dusty? Big Dusty, little Dusty. Hey, Sandy. Afternoon. I don't know if I was able to pin that. Let's see. I could pin that for now. So the next president can, which more than likely would be a J.D. Vance. And it would be kind of ironic if we did a Trump for 4, J.D. Vance for 8, and then a Don Jr. for 8. And then we started going on down the line of people that have been showing themselves to be kind of like legit. I think we got some rough times ahead, but I think there's daylight at the end of the tunnel. So we just got to dig a little deeper, dig a little harder. The payoff is worth it. That's my 2 cents on the matter. It's like 39 or 40, I think, today. So we're above the freezing. Yesterday we had the sleet rain, and it's not bad. It's cold. I mean, it's definitely down here. It causes ripples because it's not the norm, but I find it ironic because I mean I've been out in it. That's what I spent my life was out in it. So I do. My son got him because he works with the highway department now for the state, and now he's joined that little small population of careers that they got to deal with all of it: the rain, snow, sleet, cold, hot. Doesn't make shit. Historical fact: all our founding fathers were convicted felons. Oh, I got nothing wrong with that title, but I mean, I've wore that title myself. So, and I have people look at me one way because of it. And you do the whole judgmental shit. So it's kind of like I raised my kids. As I raised my kids, I said, don't let people, what they think about you matter unless you respect them. And if you respect them, then it should matter what they think. If you don't respect them, much less people you don't even know, whatever. So we moved away from here for a little bit. And then mom came here. She was here when she got really bad. And so then we came back. There's so many people around here that had the wrong, they had all sat there and gossiped their little stories on their back porches. And then all of a sudden one day it came out and I just threw it all out there going, I don't know, you can accuse me of being anything. What do you want to accuse me of? Yeah, I'm a convicted felon. I'm an ex-drug addict, an ex-alcoholic. I was in the army. I'm a dad. I was a son. I'm sure I was cousins somewhere down the line. I mean, just which title do you want to throw on me? And so, yeah, I'm not a big fan on the judgmental shit. That's why I don't care for the judgmental, like when people all were doing that cop shit, cop. Man, that's a title. Don't throw titles on people. But then I've had that. I've lived that life. And I just, one judgment's the same as another. Just because it comes out of one set of mouths doesn't mean it's no different than the other. That's why I don't judge nobody over some title. It's the actions, the character. Hear the words and then watch the action and go, oh, life's really simple. People complicate it. Maybe Jimmy wanted to go 6 feet under. He was 100 and on hospice. Man, he was probably ready to go before. They probably kept him around, pump all them damn meds into him. Oh my gosh, that's true, Rabbit. He stuck around long enough so he wouldn't be classified as the worst. I got to see the worst. Let's see. Hey, Rainwater. Afternoon. Trump can run for a third term in 2028. However, at the end of his second term, third term will be his max of 10 years as president, and the vice president will become president. Oh. Hey, Scat Pet. What's up? No, it's just cold. Cold and wet. I think the snow potentially might be this weekend. Oh, let's see. Just going to see what it showed. I think it's like they say a chance of snow. And I love it because we've been on a river flood warning for, I don't know, a while because of everything up north. Shit's going to run downhill. Oh, yeah, it looks like possibly tonight, maybe. Depends on the moisture in there. You got a foot of snow? I was watching, there's a guy that is around Bear Independent, and his his channel's Buckets and Bibles. And him and T.J. Bear were out pulling some friend out, and then he was doing his little thing. And I think he said something like 9 to 11 inches is what they got in Oklahoma. It was like, holy shit. Brad says, I posted a couple of videos of our wonderful, read that as puke snowfall. Michigan Outpost. What's up, brother? How are you today? How's the kiddos, man? Everybody doing good? Yeah, see, even if we get snow, it's like you got to run out there and take pictures of it because if you just wait a little bit, it's all going to be gone. Alabama got snow. Well, right now, Ryan Hall was showing like the patch is kind of like, yeah, that whole little chunk apparently. It's all that weather manipulation. And who knows? I don't, I can remember in my youth. I mean, I remember being down on Galveston, and I can't remember the name of that hurricane when it came in. Caught everybody unaware. Next week will be cold too. Yep. It's that time. Get a good month and a half of it. Kid's doing great. Wife in the hospital. Nothing crazy, but she won't be home until Tuesday. Oh, man. Well, prayers for the missus, Michigan. Sorry, I kind of been out of touch of a lot of things. Hey, Blackbird, good afternoon. we've been messing around with stuff here, trying to slowly work on the path, because I just preparing. But my chair, we're going to move the ramp down to the end of the porch, and then we're looking to see what it would take if I can if I'm going to be able to get it done. But we really want to put the front door in the front, so that way it's easy access. It's a bigger porch for my chair. And so that it's kind of reshifted some things. If I can just level that one wall right there, then at least I can square the door in. And that's my main concern. But that's what we're trying to work on in the next, just whenever, this year, I'll put it that way. Oh, okay, Michigan. Cool. Well, I'm glad she's doing great. Was using the tractor to get this nasty white crap out of the driveway. Why don't you just make you up some brine water and just spray brine water on your driveway, so that way it won't stick, it won't stay. You kind of that salt water, kind of not full salt water, but the brine. That's what we use down here on the roads. We spray brine spray. It's a brine spray that they put on the roads. Definitely need to get some tire chains. Yeah, that Buckets and Bible dude, he was sitting there talking about his snow tractor, and then he finally goes, well, my snow tractor's my lawnmower. So it was like, I was like, a snow tractor? I've never heard of a snow tractor. Been busy melting snow. Ash from the wood stove works best. Oh, there you go. Well, Mother Nature usually has a way. Tire chains are illegal here in my county. Oh, wow, Michigan. Well, actually, I could see them being illegal down here, because we just don't get anything that needs for it. So more than likely what's going to happen is they're going to be on the regular road and wear out quick and then come slinging off. Yeah, wood ash works great. Yeah, I'm a firm believer, Mother. If we think of some way to fix, a natural problem, there's usually some natural remedy to it. It's kind of like that. It's, lightning burns a forest bed down, creates an ash bed, snow falls, doesn't really stick, vegetation grows, things look real lush and green. Snowing in Michigan. Rips up the asphalt. Oh, I could see that too. Because if you don't have the ice that you need it for, that you would be using it for, then you're putting it on the asphalt or concrete or white rock or whatever it is. Not good. So what, Billy? You're like in the North Michigan part, and then D-Dog's down in the South part, or you're in the South and he's in the northern part, and so that's why you said it's coming. You think, Rabbit? It's almost like it was planned out that way, but we won't go there. I know. Okay, so you're in the South and D-Dog's up in the North. Roger that. Oh, hell. I just now realized that that's not my music. That was actually Carl's in the back. Sup,
I
Carl?
was just hanging out in the back room, just kind of, smoking and drinking and listening to the show from there.
Well, I was sitting there and I've been looking at the window, but see, for me, there's like my picture, and then there's just a black window that shows. Well, if I do the background music, that's what it puts up there for the background audio thing is this little black window. So I just thought, wow, I thought I'd closed it down. That's actually what got my attention now is because I went, wait a minute. I thought I closed that window. So I looked and then I saw on the bottom left it said camo. And I'm like, oh, hell.
It's all right, man. I've done that to people too. That's like karma or something.
Oh, I won't, Rabbit. Man, that's why I think I used to take some things I think defensive, because I get it. They get defensive. And so I'll say, man, God sure was good to me this morning, and then it becomes a counter thing. And I was actually falling into that. So that's why man, to each their own, I will say I was
Man,
watching this Joe Rogan show and, man, I can't remember that dude's name. I subbed to his channel too, because Wesley, shit. Is it Wesley Duff, Wesley Huff, or it's Wesley something? But anyway, he's a Canadian dude who's he's an educated guy. And what do you call himself? He's like a language historian or a literature, textual historian. So, and he's being a Christian, he's really, does like on the Hebrew, the Greek, Aramaic, and all that languages. And so Joe Rogan had him on and they're talking and talking. And, Joe Rogan is just kind of like a whatever thing. But I think this one really kind of got him because it's kind of like, some things you just kind of, it's like one, he was telling him how, actually the resurrection is documented and it's not even just the Bible that documents it, that there's actually Roman documents that document that crucifixion. And
there's documentation of that from China.
well, I mean, there was the witnesses of even just the like the regular proceedings of things had those documents. They've been discovered, and so that we know of them, and so that's proven. But what really got Joe Rogan, I think, was when they were talking about the book of Isaiah, and he was talking about the time frames in the book of Isaiah and how, the Dead Sea Scrolls and stuff, and how people always say, yeah, but it's been interpreted. And it's like, yeah, but there's, divine stuff that seems to happen and that's what he showed him. He goes, with the Dead Sea Scrolls, part of that was the book of Isaiah. And when you look at that, which has got 1,000-year difference than what we knew of versus back to this. So 1,000 years difference. And it's word for word.
Exactly. I gotta say hello to people.
So, and I just thought, man, see these, I had no doubt with my faith, but I just, sometimes it's kind of like when you're working on something, sometimes it's nice to get a pat on the back. Just somebody does happen to notice you're doing a good job. That feels good. Well, that's the way I took that. It's kind of like, man, it's kind of like nice to hear just,
it is,
not the stage, not the, whatever they call that little stand thing, and it's not that this was a conversation. It was just, this is a factual thing. Like, hey, check this out. We found this. Wow. We used to think it was from here. Nope. It goes back to here. Wow. Check that out. And it's identical. Wow. It just that moment,
What's going on, Billy, Devil Dog, Loretta, Coyote? Who else we got in here? William Tire, Blackbird, Dusty's. What's going on? All right, I think that's everybody that said hello to me. I was just trying to catch up.
Did you say you hurt Watchman's feeling the other night, Rabbit? Is that what you were just saying? I was prone to it, man. And I'll tell you what, PBD, man, I've gotten to where I take that dude kind of half and half because I do see, man, he's a money chaser. And I see that's where it's like, I'm not really into the money thing, man. I get the living thing, but the million thing, whatever. But
did you happen to see what I sent you? yesterday, I think it was.
No. On Facebook? I haven't been on
Yeah.
Facebook. Hey, Mary.
Well, I know you don't normally see that stuff, but
Cha-cha. Cha-cha-cha.
what's up, Cha-Cha?
It's the cha-cha-cha.
I slept all fucking day, man. I was up all night. I don't know why I could not sleep, man. Now I just woke up about an hour ago.
I've been up and down. I tinker on little stuff. I've been listening to some different little stuff, and hell, I'll even sit there and listen to Gunsmoke playing, but messing with just little stuff, tinkering on stuff. It was going out until yesterday with that little sleet rain stuff started, and that kind of put a damper in that. And then today I'm kind of limited because
Man, it's snowing.
puddles. Don't want to take my chair through the puddles.
It's white out right now.
Prepper Book Club.
I can't even see the factory across the way. It's so white out. It's snowing hard.
Well, that's a real racist thing to say, Carl. It's so white you can't even see, man.
Everybody knows I'm so racist. You're right. Sorry.
I will say, anybody, if you get some downtime, I want to say it was like an hour and a half. It might have been 2 hours, but I just skipped through it too, or put it on the chipmunk speed. But that PBD podcast that he did, and it's like some about MK Ultra, PSYOP, and he's got this guest on there. I think it was named Chris. I can't remember right off. And but dude, that dude's worth listening to. I gotta say, it'll put a lot. I know for me, it kind of helped explain a lot of confusion that I've had with like YouTube and just things that I've heard and going, how in the hell did we get there? Well, it puts a lot of shit in perspective, and you start realizing that it's like he rattles off a dude. I didn't know this, but everybody thinks the big bad government, and I'm not saying the government's good by any means, corrupt bunch of fuckers. But like he talks about, there was a dude that they brought in way back, and he's actually the reason why we like have butter is the color fucking yellow, and we use the word public relations, and he was a propaganda dude. So man, but anyway, that dude's worth listening to. He's got all kinds of some cool information, and it's legit shit. It's documented stuff. It's just stuff he's pulled through. Best Life. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Best? Guns?
I don't know how this month is going to go, Billy, but there's one of your knives that I saw on that Etsy page, and I don't know. I'm trying to finagle it, but I like that Tonto blade thing. It's a pretty cool looking little one. Got paracord on the handle. I could see me hanging that around my neck. Give me one of them little neck holster dealies. Because that's what I'd like to have. I'd like to have one of those. I saw some people were wearing those, and man, I was like, damn, those are cool as shit. Especially now that I sit down, because my pocket knife can be a pain in the ass to get to every now and then, especially like with the arm of my chair. So have that right there, boy. You can just kind of, it's like my pistol. My pistol's right in the back pocket of my seat, but
I got knives every direction I can reach.
Turning guns.
I actually don't. I don't think I need any more knives.
Well, I got several different kinds. Most of them are folding, and I think I got an old yellow diver's knife that I've had for like 40 years, actually, still out in the shop.
Oh, one of them old U.S. diver ones.
Yeah.
Best Life makes some nice knives. I'm not saying that. There's one in there. I can reach one and about anywhere I'm at in here.
Oh, dude, I can open up my desk drawer. Let's see. I can pull you out a penknife, an old timer penknife. This was my dad's. That was my granddad's. So that's why I keep it. And it's one of those. Let's see. I got too much paperwork right here. I know there's.
All I want to know, Rescue, is why is it spelled Kniffy, but they call it a knife?
Oh, there's an old buck. One of them bone handle jobs. Oh, there's an old timer.
What, you mean the knife or you?
I got knives. I've always had knives, sharp objects, which You know, you get locked up once, and all of a sudden, that's just as good as a knife. That's just as good as a knife.
Yeah, yeah.
These are just as good as a knife. I mean, all you got to do is break skin and get to some kind of vein in there. That's just whatever that takes. The sharper it is, the less pressure you got to put to make the point. But that's the way
Well, I
I view it.
use scissors for a lot of things, man. I use scissors for a lot. I cook with scissors. I sew with scissors. You know.
Hell, dude, there's been women murderers that have done it with a pair of scissors. So I mean, you know, hey, don't undercount any objects. Sharp objects work. Kitchen knives. Look how many crimes do you hear committed with house knives?
Well, I can swing them around too. You know, I got them big upholstery scissors, those whisks that weigh like a pound. You know, and I've over the years just kind of played with them. Now it's like almost playing with a butterfly knife because I can flip them around and you know I can do tricks with them.
Oh, that's cool, Rabbit. I just scrolled up to look at that old pearl handle inlaid straight razor. Hell, if you got a Phillips screwdriver, you got a knife.
Well,
if you got a flathead, you actually have a fillet knife. You just have to sit there and find you a good little rock to file that tip down, but you can actually even use that as a slicer to open some shit.
I just went through my screwdrivers, man. I'm missing one. I'm supposed to have a 36-piece Craftsman screwdriver set, and I've only got 35, so one of them is missing.
Oh, I thought you were fixing to tell me you're missing the 10 millimeter. It's like, yeah, that motherfucker always runs. I don't know. Somehow when they produce the 10 millimeter, it always has legs.
Well, I have a couple 10 millimeter sockets and wrenches, but I don't use them. All right, because everything on this thing is all standard. But I need them 10 millimeters to take certain seats apart because they got 10 millimeters all over them on cars, you know, car seats and shit.
Oh man, you get out here on these lines and shit, and in those amps and all them boxes, there's so much 10 millimeter shit. It's unbelievable. That and 7/16. It's so ironic. You literally have standard to get into it, and once you get into it, you got to go to metric to work on in it. It just used to crack me up about how ass backwards shit is. It's like, wow, so I have
you're right.
Metric and my standards. People used to ask me why, and it's like, you don't understand, man. It's hard to explain, but I literally have to have like 9/16 and 7/16 to take the bolts off to get into the components, and then I have to pull out the metric tools to work on them.
Well, I totally get it, man, because this truck was old enough, it was all standard. And every modification I've done to this, I've hunted down the standard heads on everything. I refuse to put metric crap on this because if I did have metric, then I'd have to carry twice the amount of tools that I do, which is heavy. All right. I was trying to, you know, so I've got a full standard kit and I've got a few metric tools I keep separate. I keep it in an old bag that I keep separate just for like working on other people's shit. You know,
Blackbird gets it. Hell, you could have a drawer full of 10 millimeter and they'll be gone the next day. I know them little shits, they're produced with legs or something. I don't know. They just go poof.
Did you see there's some gifts for like mechanics they got out there, and it's just a card and it comes with like 3 or 5 10 millimeter sockets, and it's all it is really. It's for like stocking stuffing.
Oh yeah, that's it, man. Shit, you never have too many 10 millimeters. How are you feeling, Tiger? Treatment's going okay? Yeah, that dude actually even talks about the pills, the drugs that like these rich people and politicians and speakers and all that, the drugs that they use that are not addictive, but it calms their blood pressure and all this shit. And I'm thinking, see, you people know what's up. You're just choosing to feed everybody the bullshit. Because he even talked, because that Patrick dude asking me, says, you know, well, so what's with them? They're not addictive, so you don't get hooked on these things. And he's like, oh, so it's not like the Adderall or shit. And he's like, no, And it's like, see, exactly. They know what they're doing. Oh, there you go, Tiger. So D-Dog and Rabbit wanted to know if you were glowing in the dark yet.
What the heck? Did he move to Chernobyl or what?
Well, she's been having her radiation treatments.
Dang, sorry, Tiger. I hope you get through that stuff good. Now, remember we were talking last time about executive orders and stuff?
Oh, yeah. Boy, he got him a list ready. Day one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's the link I sent you. I saw a report where he says he plans on signing over 100 executive orders on the first day.
Oh, dude, it's a massive righting of the ship. I mean, it's the borders getting totally shut down, locked down. That's it. And then we're fixing to start deporting. He's going to start pardoning the J6ers so they get the hell out of jail.
And I think that Judge Merchant has about 10 days to feel proud of himself.
Oh, he just got 10 days till he then has to answer up to a legitimate Department of Justice. Because, dude, they just, you can't do things unconstitutional and illegal and think that you're just going to get away with it forever. So as soon as, that's why I tried to tell when everybody was getting mad, you know, a couple years ago, and it's, well, how come the DOJ, man, the actual, that's they're part of that same party that's fucking everything up. So once that changes, and that's why, once again, see, and I get it, I ain't a Pam Bondi fan per se. I mean, because I get the two-way stuff, but I do think when it comes to some of this other shit that there's going to be people held accountable. And I will say they introduced a bill. No Quarter just brought it up, the national concealed carry thing.
Yep.
They just brought that up on the Senate floor.
That Pam Bondi is looks like an older version of a girl I knew back in the day. She used to drive around with a fifth of Seagram 7 in her glove box everywhere she went. I don't know how the hell she didn't end up in jail, but.
What's up, No Quarter? Afternoon. Well, and I get you, Billy. You know, the executive orders, no matter which side, and you know, I understand that, and I even agree with it. Except, I have to beg to differ under the current situation, just because, man, they just intentionally did so much unconstitutional shit that we would have to just sit here and keep living out this nightmare for 6 to 8 years while it worked its way through a court system and stuff. So I got to say, in this circumstance, you can go in there and somebody can sit down at the table and go, nope, all this illegal immigration shit stops now. Boom, lock the borders down. And you can do that with a pen stroke. Man, I'll be running to the desk with the pen. You know, now
they fucked around. Now they're going to find out.
Well, if you rewind back to before 16, I'm with you 100%. Just like we get over this hump, we need to get that out of the mix. But I could see the need for it right now because things are just hell. Look at the last minute shit he's doing right now is trying to still send out as much money as he can and as much shit. I heard one story and I thought, holy shit, it doesn't surprise me. I don't know how factual it is. It just doesn't shock me if it is. And that's that, like 2 years ago, Newsom took California's, I think it was the Fire Emergency Management Fund, and sent that over to Ukraine.
Yeah.
And so it's like, holy shit, dude. So you just look at so much that's going, and they're still doing it, you know. I will say that there's talk of him pardoning or giving Fauci like a blanket pardon. I don't know, man.
I don't know either, but what I've seen is they've attacked him for 8 years straight. They tried to, you know, they set him up with like 28 false allegations of women that came forward against him with sexual abuse allegations. There was the impeachments. There were the indictments. There's the way the media's talked about him and lied about him for 8 flipping years straight. Whatever's coming, they deserve it. I feel no sorrow for these folks because they've been stabbing us in the back, all of us, for years now. It's not about us. We the people, we're the deplorable garbage. We're not we the people. To those people, we're a paycheck. And I just, man, it's
well, that's all you are to a commercial store, Walmart, Kroger, all the same thing. You're just a customer.
Yeah.
That's what society's become, is just a big pool of customers, and it just depends on what your marketing is. Rather, nowadays it's a politician or a corporation. They're almost the same thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. D-Dog said, rescue the executive branch is in control of enforcing law and can shut the border in effective law. Oh, I don't get me wrong. Well, there goes Carl. Hit the wrong button. He probably, well, I thought you could see chat though. I don't know. He hit the wrong thing. The guy in there now can't order a pizza. Not sure how he's doing. Oh, because they're just, I don't even know that he's actually signing shit anymore to be around, to be honest. I think they're just forging signatures. And that's why I get what you're saying, D-Dog. That's why all along, and that's why there were several of them that would come out going, they'd talk about the border. They could do this right now. Matter of fact, they could have just left it alone, But to deal with an immediate, as in he signs it can go into effect kind of thing, that would be executive order stuff.
That was weird. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
It was like all it showed me was you froze up. I'm not sure anybody could hear me or nothing.
Oh, yeah. No, they could hear you. They were like even right on Carl. And, so yeah. And all of a sudden you just went bloop. And I was like, oh, he must have hit the wrong button.
Yeah, I didn't hit nothing. It just kind of, from my point of view, it sounded like you froze.
Oh, yeah. No, and you were still going. And then all of a sudden when I was talking, and then you just went boop, you exited. No Quarter says, how is an illegal alien not considered a criminal in the USA? Seriously, isn't that a part of the label? Illegal equals not legal, therefore not legal alien is by definition a criminal. Exactly. But see, this is, and I will say, that's why I say that that's another reason why the PBD podcast that he does over the MK Ultra stuff with that dude, it's pretty interesting, because he talks about how they dumb down the definition of stuff, and he talks about how they make stuff to where it's not impactful. It doesn't have the impact because they've dumbed it down. I got to tell you, the whole time that dude's talking, I'm going, oh man, I can so see this in so much shit right now, from the protesting. And then, like I said, I think that's why J6 was a setup. You literally taught people, if you're pissed off, get out here and scream and shout and bring signs and do all this. And so they did that because they didn't like the way the election, and yes, it was a setup. Well, you can actually, there's so much shit. And that's what they did. He talks about with the drones, they did the drones and everybody said they don't answer anything, but people stop caring. And when you think about it, they do it with everything. That's why I said we had 2 presidential attempts of assassination. Any other time, this shit would have been going on for months, if not a year or 2. And yet it just died down and went to nothing. And there's so much. And it was kind of like,
Well, no Quarter, that's a cool handle, because I know what the original meaning of no quarter means, but also that Led Zeppelin song rocks.
No quarter given. And look, Tuck can see Billy.
That's weird.
Can Billy see Tuck? Because I don't think Billy can see Tuck.
Oh my goodness! Wait a minute.
This is skis. Oh, you gotta have the video of that
like
shit.
Somebody catching Bigfoot. All right, this is big news, man. Wildlife has seen the mythical substance he called snow. He never even believed in snow, and he had made a promise to me now that if it happens, he's going to make a video. This is the beginning of his plan. Yeah, wildlife. Now he's got to do some content. He told me he was going to make content if it snowed because he doesn't believe in that mythical substance called snow. And
I
he
didn't.
got snow. Thank you for that information, Bonnie. That's great.
Oh, okay, Bonnie. I was like, I didn't see him come in.
No, he says rescue. Bonnie says rescue and Carl wildlife got snow in Georgia. Big laughing emojis.
Coder says, no, I'm not new. I've been around since episode 10 of The Sandlot. So, and that's going back a minute.
Yeah.
And I still get things. I'll be so glad when we get done with this Russia shit. I got to tell you, because I'm so tired I get emails like every day from YouTube because, this video, it's blocked in some countries. And dude, they go all the way back through the Sandlot episodes, then into the Cluckin Alamo episodes. Every day there's an email and I go look, and what it is some song I played is now banned in Belarus or Russia or both. And so it's like, man, can y'all just get up off, man? It's just music. Who gives a shit? And it's just all kinds of songs.
Put out the light.
The latest one I just played the other day that Chris Stapleton, think I'm in love with you. Oh no, can't listen to that in Belarus or Russia because heaven forbid. And I'm like, holy shit, dude, what has it got to do with anything?
You got to sing your own music, man. Then they can't fuck with you.
No, fuck that. Hell, I'm not trying to chase away people. If I want to do that, I just shut the shit down.
Hey man, you ain't gonna chase nobody around. Have you heard some of us sing?
Yeah, but I can't do that. D-Dog says, Cha-Cha, I have 18 inches clearance on my truck. No shovel. So, yeah.
I got to listen to that Led Zeppelin song tonight now. No quarter.
I had to wear pants. Oh, no, Tuck. You had to get dressed.
It is cold here, man. It is cold. It's supposed to get colder. It's going to be in a below zero, supposedly, for over a week here. So,
dude, with my spine the way it is, if it gets down to 50 degrees, I'm already feeling it because it's typical. It's basic science. Shit gets colder, it contracts. Heat expands. So when it gets cold, my muscles and nerve endings contract and puts more pressure, and it just aches.
Well, mine's not as serious as yours, but I've got a very bad knee. And that knee is better than any weather station I've ever heard.
That's been my titanium plate in my neck. Since 2001, I've always had that built-in temperature thing because it detects the weather change. If it's going to rain, I'll start aching in my neck. I don't know if it's that plate that picks it up or what. But that ain't shit. That's why I was talking about earlier. I told the missus, we laugh now because, hell, for 20 years, I used to just bitch about my neck and this titanium plate. Now, I'll go back to them 20 years any day to give up this spine shit. I would need a crane to get in y'all's high trucks. No, they need those little roll-out ladders, Bonnie. So when they pull up, you open the door and grab the ladder and roll it out. Then you can climb up.
That gives a guy an excuse to touch your butt too, Bonnie.
Yeah, but see, you don't want to do that. Don't put yourself into need. Make it your decision.
You got to help a gal up.
Hey, and if anybody is doing any elk hunting, you need to take Tuck along and just get him to sing because apparently he's got a mating call of a bull elk getting kicked in the nuts.
Don't they sound like or something like that? Don't they like make a weird howl?
Oh, I don't know. I live in Texas. We got deer and we got hogs. We got wolves.
I think they call it whistling. They can get they can use their whole esophagus like a big didgeridoo.
Rock steady. Wolverines. So what's the weather where you're at, Rock steady? Snow? Man, did y'all hear about that New York City shit? I guess it's just New York City. I don't guess it's New York. I think it's just the city. And it's that they're like $24 or $25 or some shit every day to drive to work or some shit. Some shit that hokum lady passed or whatever. That was crazy. I'm like, holy shit, dude. But see, that's that economy up there is so high that, because I got to tell you right now, you start telling people down here, by the way, you got to pay $25. People are just you're fixing to see a bunch of Texans be armed as they go to work.
I'm kind of surprised it isn't like that. I remember Texas as a whole different joint, man, when I was a kid. Seemed like when I went down there in the early 70s and stuff, everyone had a gun. And nobody locked their doors because nobody was foolish enough to walk into somebody's house. I can't even believe Austin, Texas is like it is. I mean, something fucking changed.
Well, that's the capital. Then you look across the country, that's where you can kind of see an organized kind of effort into the metropolitan cities and the capitals, and they went in for the big cities. There's another reason why listening to that guy's interview and stuff, he talks about that kind of stuff, because he even asked him, he goes, do you think the big cities is what creates that? And he goes, no, I think, or he said, do you think that being there? And he said, no, it's just, we're not built that way. We're really not built to live in cities, and it messes with our internal tribe mechanism. And then you basically, you will subconsciously, you become a follower, because where you would stand up in a smaller tribe against something, you won't, because of the numbers in a city. So a city will shift your thinking. And I was just like, holy shit, man. It just, I guess it's
Leonard
validation sometimes on the shit you think is what it was. Hey, Miss Cheryl, good to see you.
What's up? It's good to see you, Cheryl. And Leonard Skinner sung a couple songs about that, and I totally agree. We had everything we needed in nature. We were living in harmony with nature until some dude says, "Hey, everybody, move into these little boxes over here so we can control you better." All right, and now we're going to charge you for everything while you're living there in those little boxes. We'll give you everything you need, but you have to pay us. And it's like, to me, it's just a form of control. They get you all up in a city, and now they're in control of you. And that's what it looks like to me.
Hey, Paul Kershaw. Good to see you. Bong on, Wild Dragon. Woot, woot.
I don't even want.
Well, and see, I don't. Now, in some areas, I don't think that the cities were like intentional. I think that they saw as a useful tool, and people in that mindset then started utilizing that. And then now over time, it's like the race card. It just gets played when needed.
I mean, people like the tax collectors got to have somewhere to live. They're soft. They can't go out into the fields and work because their fingers will get blistered.
Humans are made to live in colonies, but not super colonies, right, Tuck? I mean, and I forgot how he described it. To me, it's totally worth listening to, because it's actually a very descriptive, intelligent, educated explanation. It's just not, but I got to say, it really was. And then you can see how easy, and you start to see how the thumbnails on the social medias play a part. And you just, I don't know, man. For me, it was a good eye opener. Did I miss anybody else coming in? I think I got everybody. If I missed you, so good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever it's working for you.
Having a center to your civilization, like maybe a gathering point or a place for legislation and stuff like that I understand. But you put everybody inside of a city where they can't grow things and they can't find the medicines and things they need unless they purchase it. I just think that it's a scam, man. It's a big scam.
Well, it's people that they saw the tool, because when I know, like now, and I won't say this is everywhere. I just down here with old Texas stories and the towns and stuff, you can kind of see it, because you had families coming out here and establishing a homestead scattered out. But then if you ended up with that husband dying, then there was a good chance that if it was a mom and little kids, that they ended up coming into the what would be the localist town. So next thing you know, she's picking up a job there. And that's how we just, I mean, you can see the slow growth, but then I can see where people were standing there and they noticed this. And so all of a sudden, it's kind of like the landlords you see now. You got people that do it to this day. Hell, you got people that don't even hardly have anything, but they want to go get some rent houses. Why? Because they like that perpetual money. So guess what? If
there's a different side of this too,
out of it, people just do things. Do what?
1,000 years ago, you could leave the city or leave your family or leave your country and go find a wilderness.
200 years ago.
Well, but I mean,
100 years ago, you could do it down here.
Well, you could. Well, I'm saying you could find some hill to go live on, and nobody could say jack squat about it unless they took it from you. And it's like now. America, it's all national forest. All the wilderness and stuff is off limits unless you pay for it.
Well, we established a country, though. So, I mean, you can look into that and go, and then do the, free man, sovereign citizen, whatever thing. But we established a nation is what happened. And so with an established nation, then you start having, like up there, they discovered land, named states. All of a sudden, then you had people and we had times when people could just go out there and stake out ground. I mean, we would have like new land that we discovered, and they would broadcast it. People would come there in their wagons, go out there and stake their thing. It's just that.
Yeah, but next thing you know, you got 200 years ago. So you got to pay somebody to feed your family because you got to have a fishing license or a hunting license. Hey, I was going to ask somebody a question.
Well, I don't know. That's to be hunting license and fishing license.
No, I think that's absolutely wrong, dude. I think that everything on this planet,
then we would end up with nothing, just like we had actually after the Great Depression. We lost species because people went out there and killed them all because there was no checks and balances against it. So if you remove all the checks and balances, then anybody that says, hey, you know what, they're always talking about deer hunting, they go out and they shoot one, but they don't ever get it. Well, next thing you know, you start losing whitetail. You start losing. So there's a reason for that. Now, maybe in your state it's not managed right, but down here, I know that's Texas Wildlife and the management. That's what it's for, is so you can keep track of population cullings.
Well, that's the problem is the irresponsibility of the human condition.
Well, but that's what makes everything everywhere. I mean, you don't have a perfect race nowhere. You don't have a perfect culture anywhere. There is no perfect tribe. There's no perfect.
It still ain't right. Anywhere. It still ain't right. If let's say, and I was going to ask somebody, does anybody know, you go 12 miles off the coast of any country and you're in international waters. Is there any type of fishing license you need out there, or is it only within the 12 miles?
No, it's going to be that nation. You get too close to one, then they might go ahead and say that 12-mile extended out, but no, that's the problem with China right now because they go out there in international waters and they just drag the ocean for everything.
I was just wondering if there was some kind of international fishing license now.
Matter of fact, that's why there's so many species that are going extinct out there in the waters because of things like that, just going and dragging the seas. There's a reason that there should be a checks and balances, and that's, and I get it, everybody. It's like that whole no rules and it's like, well, you know what? Live in that world. You can go to prison. Those are self-established rules in there. All you have to do is there's a fence and stay inside that fence and don't fuck with those gray suits that walk around. Other than that, you get to create your own society, and you can see how that goes.
I was never good at staying inside the lines. What's up, 420? Flame on. Who else we got up in here? Anthony.
Hey,
going on, Muffin Man.
Good.
Yeah, I don't know.
Good to see you, brother. Greetings and blessings to you, buddy. I hope everything is going good where you are. Chinese fishing ships often intrude in Bohemian waters. Yeah.
Well, I watched this couple. They're floating all around Australia down there together, and they just fishing and living the life, go island hopping, shore to shore, living the life. But I just wonder if they had to pay anybody to do that.
Where were they at?
They're down around Australia, all around Australia.
Oh, then they probably had to Australia. There was probably some fishing or boating license because all those islands are going to be under the sovereignty of the Queen. I think is how that goes down there.
It's good to see you, Kush. What's up, Indy? Yeah, but it still looks like pretty fabulous of a life, I'll tell you.
Well, that's I don't know, man. I get the reason for checks and balances because one, you have to just not everybody's going to think like you do. So if you go with everybody, has a freedom, so if you go with that, then you got to look at the way people carry themselves right now. So then how well would that turn out? If all of a sudden you didn't have this little bit of check and balance, then what it would do, because you can see, even with checks and balances, where we're at as a society. I mean, you literally have people filming people beating the shit out of other people. We have people that film people while they're beating an old lady or an old man up, like totally, defenseless. But what
There's
the gathering audience of people, they film it, then they'll create channel content on it. They'll talk about it, but nobody ever does anything about it. It's like the
kids. Worse than that, Rescue. They make a game out of it.
No, it's like trafficking kids. It's a hot topic for everybody, but nobody hardly. I don't run into many people that make the email, make the phone call to the senator that their representative is, and say this has got to stop. Because I think if you collectively got people that don't agree with that to do that, you could make changes. But there isn't. That's why I think there's a reason why checks and balances. And luckily, if they weren't there, then man, we'd be. And I get it. I mean, I can sit here and I can do the Billy Badass type talk, and I can go, hey, I can defend myself. But you just got to think. I'm looking at my 2-year-old grandson. What do I do if my wife is at the store with little man? Oh, well, okay. See, no, now I kind of like it if there's somebody that she can call if she needs it if I can't get there. So I don't know, man. It's a viewpoint. That's all. I will say that PBD interview is definitely worth listening to about it's not
too late now, man. We can't just take all those rules away. That's for damn sure. It's too late now.
And it's like fishing. Well, like I know here these are private lakes. You don't have to have no license fishing in here. If you want to go over and fish in the state lake, then there's a fishing license.
Oh no, man!
But like here, it's not. But then again, they don't stock these lakes. We do, and the people around here do, and it's private land. It's not. So we don't ask nobody to maintain it. We don't ask nobody. It's just, and I don't know if other states can do that or not. I mean, this is where I try to really careful in the conversation. Just where I'm at in Texas, you can do that. You own land. You can dig you a lake, a pond, whatever your land permits, and fill that bad boy up with whatever you want, fish in it, whatever you want.
Well, it's kind of, I don't know. There's multiple sides of this. Like out here in the gravel pits, there's lakes out there that are full of fish that if, you go out there and you fish, for years people did it without it ever being on the radar. Suddenly the DNR realized what was going on. They started sending fucking task forces out there to catch people fishing. All right. The funny part is even though they're fining people and ticketing them or making them buy those fishing licenses, those lakes they have a limited lifespan anyways. They're going to fill that thing full of gravel. All the fish are going to be dead. They're going to fill it with lime. They're going to push the lake over there. So everything in that lake already is a limited lifespan because it's going to be moved. I don't see where it hurts for, like poor folk. All right. There's a lot of poor folk who come up from the city and they go fish out in those lakes, and they were doing it for subsistence. They weren't doing it for trophies. So you got a guy that can barely feed himself. He's out there fishing, and now you're going to give him a ticket that he can't even pay. So now he's probably going to end up in jail down the line somewhere for trying to feed himself. That's the only issues I have with that.
That's the link there, Pilgrim, to the PBD thing I was talking about. And Bonnie, no, I'm not a big fan of that renaming the Gulf. I mean, yeah, that sounds all cute and fun and shit, the Gulf of America. But to me, that's doing the same stupid shit they did with Fort Liberty. No, it's Fort Bragg. Let's get shit right. You know, we have a history to that. That's the Gulf of Mexico. Let's not fuck with our history. Let's just fix our problems. We don't need to rename shit. We don't need to do the crazy shit that the other side did and start renaming shit. We need to leave that the damn Gulf of Mexico. Everybody needs to go back to their damn history. Let's be okay with our history. We're a damn good country. We are the land of freedom. We just have to exercise that.
Cha-cha, I was out there fishing many, many years ago with two of my friends. And this little greenhorn DNR agent walks up to us. And the first thing I noticed is he doesn't have a radio and he doesn't have a gun. I knew he was being trained. I could just tell. He was just too young. And he's like, I got to see your guys' identification. And I'm like, no, you don't. And he's looked at me with this look like, yes, you do. You have to. I said, I don't have to do squat shit. And neither do my buddies. We ain't doing nothing but walking out of here. Oh, you're going to get no. I said, what are you going to do about it? You ain't got a radio. You ain't got a gun. What are you going to do about it? And man, you could just see that dude. His fucking brain was melting in his skull. He didn't know how to handle that shit. And we walked out of there. I never saw him again.
Hell, I got a ticket a long time ago. Me and my mom both got tickets for no fishing license. And I even told her, I go, you know, watch, that's probably what's going to happen. And sure enough, we put the little boat in. We'd gone over to my grandfather's place over on Sam Rayburn. And they monitor that lake. That's one of those bass circuit lakes and stuff. So it's, and I don't know, like I said, it just depends on where, I guess, the environment you come from, you know, and stuff down here. I mean, I've had my ass chewed out by a game warden and got threatened, you know, and in my youth, for a while, I sat there and would go, man, I can't believe that dude was going to want to take me to jail because I had a hawk's claw, but I had found it. And I had it hanging from my mirror. Hell, I didn't even know it was wrong to have to be. And so, you know, I'm getting the riot act and I get it. Now that I got older, I get where that comes from because, you know, I can look at this as an individual case. You know, I can't believe he did that to me. But then now I sit here and especially nowadays, you can sit here and watch all these little shows of them having to deal with people and you watch the people and it's like, oh, okay, I get it. You know?
Well, I don't know about the hawk either because I know that an eagle claw lands you in deep shit. All right. But I didn't know.
Around here, like you find a hawk, like if you're driving and a hawk were to smack your vehicle and don't get over there and pick that bird up and put it like in your car and take it to a vet. You're going to get an ass chewing.
You're talking about all hawks, even the falcons and stuff?
Yeah.
Or is it just
down here?
Specifically?
Because those are predatory birds and we need them.
Right.
Otherwise, you get a major population of field rats and shit.
It's probably doing good because I've never seen more bald eagles in Michigan in my life. I mean, growing up, I don't remember once in a great while you'd see them way up north. I see them down here. There was flipping. Me and Jeff Riddle went working in the city in Flint, and there was bald eagles flying around the tall structures and shit. I was like, well, what do you know?
Hey, Garrett.
What's up, Garrett?
I had a game warden want to shoot a moose on my property because someone else complained. I said, no, get off my property. Yeah, that's crazy. I say now, I've seen some stuff up there up northeast and with the mooses, man. And I'm like, holy shit, dude, that's wild. There's some disease they get that fucks their head up. And apparently, you know, you can spot it because they like start doing some swaying and shit. And then, there was this one guy that showed footage of this bull moose just went the fuck off on this guy's truck in his driveway. And the game warden said it's because it was suffering whatever this is that they get. But dude, that rack on that moose beat the living. You'd have thought that dude got out there and hauled that truck at like 80 or 90 through the trees in the ditch and rolled that bad boy like 10 times because that moose beat the crap out of that truck.
A moose will stomp you dead right on the spot. He'll squish you.
I'm like, holy crap. They collect the roadkill and throw it out in the field for people to come watch the eagles and hawks. Pretty cool. Oh, there you go.
I see
Damn,
them everywhere.
Scat Pack's got buzzards
231.
nesting in her backyard. Are you burying people back there or something, Scat Pack? I mean, somebody might end up come knocking on the door going, well, gee, why are these buzzards all hovering right here? We got something going on? Something we need to know about?
231. I know a spot on the Black River here in the Thumbs, kind of like the northern Thumb area, that I know where every year they got nests of bald eaglets up in them nests. It's pretty cool to see. You go through there with your canoe and slow down and stop on the side of the river, and you can watch all the little eaglets and all the different nests up in there. There's a whole bunch of bald eagles in Michigan right now that I know of.
Oh, those are cool. I still remember Daniel Broberg, I think was his name. He
Yeah,
used to come on the thing, and when he moved into that apartment, he came up on panel one day, and then he sent me the picture. But he literally looked out his apartment window on the balcony, and right across the little courtyard of the apartments, there was an eagle sitting on the handrail. And dude, it was just so awesome because what made it really, really cool was it put it all in proportion because you could literally see the window of the apartment and then the handrail connecting to the wall with that. And here's this eagle sitting in his damn as tall as the window. And you're like, holy shit, they're
yeah,
massive.
they're like 5 foot tall or some shit,
Yeah.
man. They have over 6 foot wingspans. They don't look big in the sky, but when you get close to them, that changes the perspective a lot.
Hey, G-Ma Merkel.
What's up, Gmo? Mayor, good to see you.
Moose are meaner than a pissed off mother-in-law. Oh, well, no, I'd be afraid of the moose. The pissed off mother-in-law, that just actually makes my day, especially if she's mad at me. That evil ass B word.
Well, I never had one of those, and all the gals I dated, their mothers liked me.
Oh,
I've
not the
never
one I
had
got.
one
The
of
one
those.
I got is she's the epitome of the devil. She the devil.
Yeah, well, once you're, I don't know, it's just really weird that this happened to me a couple times where you hook up with somebody and their whole family becomes your family. It's like all of a sudden you're part of the family, and that
I
can
know.
last for
See, no.
years
How does that
and
come into play?
years.
Did you
Well,
marry the
listen,
family?
I'm not there yet. The weird part to me is now you break up with that person and you're breaking up with the whole family. I mean, it's like suddenly that whole family it's easy come, easy go. Just boom, it's gone. That's happened a couple
Shit,
times.
I don't talk to them people now, and if we got divorced, I wouldn't talk to them then neither.
Yeah, I get that.
I didn't marry them. Hell, they're assholes. I wouldn't marry them.
There's people I miss though. I mean,
You live in a magical place. Well, we're all legends in our own minds, Gmo.
I know she's always talking about this mythical, magical place, but we never get to see pictures of it or nothing.
She hadn't found the right picture on the internet to describe it yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
She got to open the right wallet and go, there, that picture right there. I'm going to copy that one.
I can almost picture what she's got going. Over the years of knowing Gma Merkel, I've seen a lot of her comments, and what I think she's trying to do is build like little parking pads for like RVs, so her friends can come and stay in her little magical parkland like place. I know the area she lives in really does look like fucking paradise, but I think she's trying to come up with her own RV park kind of deal.
Oh, look, see now Best Life gets it because he says my baby mama's parents are way cooler than she ever was. That's probably how little man's mom feels. We're probably cooler than her own parents, but I'm biased that way.
Man, I never tried to be cool. I never wanted to be cool. Matter of fact, everybody, who wants to be the Fonz? I mean, that was some silly shit,
Oh, she said there is no picture that could do it justice. But that's the idea. Make your place paradise. That's what you do.
Yeah.
You can't fix everything. You can only fix what you're connected to.
Well, that's the thing. Is there's a lot of people that go, "You live in a truck, Carl? Oh my God, that's got to be horrible." No, in fucking actuality, this is my own little realm here that nobody can tell me what the fuck to do or what not to do, and I'm
Nobody
comfortable.
can do that here.
Well, I know, but I'm limited to what I can do. All right. I kind of fell in a hole, man. But meanwhile, I'm comfortable here. All right. I'd rather be living the way I do than to live under somebody else's totalitarian rule. All right. I can smoke in here. I can, if I wanted to, I could get drunk as a skunk, fall down on the floor, and nobody's going to bitch at me. All right. I can do what the fuck I want, is basically what I'm saying.
It's kind of like owning your own place.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I need
What's
that.
up, Papa Smart?
I got to get away from people sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I can't be around people
that's
all
when
the
people
time.
like me, we go home. See, we stay at home because then we are away from people.
Yeah. Well, I spent too much time alone, so it's really hard to be around a lot of people for a long time. It's very difficult.
I'm not a very social person. This is my social experiment right here.
Me too, man. Bonnie and Echo, they kind of taught me that this is socializing, and then it made me think about it. It's the best kind of socializing, Rescue, because I can turn this off and I'm already home, and everybody else is gone. It's like kind of easy.
Oh, well, I've been asked, over time about dealing with stuff, and I said, when it comes to the internet, you can kind of get lost in it, but you just got to remember that you can hit the X. You can always hit the X.
Yeah,
it gets hard because you get kind of, but you just, and that's a way different topic.
Well, that's where that thing that falls into place. That it's like, first you have to really value somebody's opinion before it can hurt you. Before you let an opinion bum you out or depress you or make you mad, ask yourself how much you respect that person's opinion in the first place. Because if somebody out of the blue that I don't even know, "Oh, Carl, you're an ugly motherfucker and you're stupid," and that ain't gonna mean nothing to me. That dude don't know squat about me. The only people that have ever really been able to hurt me are the ones closest to me.
My favorite social in public is antisocial. I don't do good in crowds. I don't. And it's not just a YouTube thing. I just don't. I mean, I've been that way a long part of my life because I don't know. Rehab had a lot to do with it because I don't know, man. I guess with rehab, you'd see people talk a good game, but they live in that shit. And then I started just noticing during work, you'd see shit, and just, I don't know, you just lost faith in people. You used to think that, wow, you know what, you do good. But you know what? I don't know that it's supposed to be such a laid back ride while you're here. I don't know.
Dude, I've been on that roller coaster ride for so long now about, every good deed gets punished kind of deal. I get what you're saying but the bottom line is I'm still going to be good to people. Even though if you end up suffering because you tried to help somebody, they blow it all up in your face. They have no appreciation for it. Whatever it is, some people, I've helped people and they fucking tried to fight me. All right, so I don't even know what that's about, but I'm still going to be the same way. It's not going to change my course. I'm still going to be decent to people until they're outright assholes to me. Then I'll treat them the way they treated me.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, I try to just treat people as they treat me.
That's
You know,
it.
you get what you give. I guess I've always stuck by that saying. You get what you give. So, because I'm just that way. But then I am a black and white kind of person. I don't have a big gray area.
Well,
Yeah.
you kind of haven't looked in the mirror for a while, have you?
Oh
Kind of
yeah.
got some gray
Every day.
area. You kind of do have some gray area now.
Oh, I got gray. If there's hair, it's gray. If it's not gray, it's just because it ain't there.
Matches your gray watch cap.
I'm color coordinated.
Hey, this is the one time of the year that my beard is good camo.
Right? You can blend right in.
That's right.
I don't know. It's real easy, and that's because it does. You know, one thing I can say is if you can get on any of the platforms, and I think the big fear for me is that it can make you think that you're like finding out about stuff, but really what it is that it's just being it's being put out on purpose, you know.
Yeah,
And
you mean like something like JFK Jr. is still alive and he's going to be coming back, that kind of stuff?
well, that and just it can even just go even just lighter than that. I mean, it's just like, I don't know, there's I guess in the previous way I would have probably said it, which was a more crude way, was just right off the top of my head, was, it's very gullible. But I now I don't understand it that way. It's not so much a gullible because it's like it's been it's like it's been a taught thing now. So it's like people that wouldn't do it just out of the unknowing. And I used to just think of it as, oh, gullible, but it's now you kind of look, and when you listen to some of the stuff, you realize that it's like, oh yeah, well, this is society has pretty much laid this, and then this is the feast everybody showed up to eat at, and it's not their fault per se. It's just that's the information they've been given, and they're fed that for a reason. And I do think that there is a big distraction amongst all these stories. And I think it's simple things to keep you from paying attention to things you can control. I mean, your store's worst nightmare is for people in that area to unify and complain about that store, because then now that's the customer base. Well, it's the same thing with the politicians. I think they really want people to think that, well, maybe you shouldn't be getting thousands of people in your area to pick up the phone or send the email. It's not going to do. So you can just start seeing how all this plays in,
Makes you second guess yourself.
Well, and you really, that's why I think you got to really look at what's really important, because it's easy to be led into what you think is important. It's like the Vegas bombing. Well, you can get caught up in hours and hours of why that dude did what he did, but it wouldn't matter if you find out tomorrow or not. Nothing you would discover changes anything. You're not going to solve the crime of the century kind of thing. So when you look at little stories like that, you can see how you get lost, because
you're right, dude. Because 5 years ago, that story, I would have researched it up and down and all around and underneath of it. But right now, I don't even pay too much attention to it, because I don't think any of it's going to be reality. All right. I've noticed over the years that a story like that comes out, for the first 2 weeks, the story is going to change every day, and then at the end of that 2 weeks, they're going to kind of land on one story, and it'll just fade away. And with all these loose ends that nobody believes the damn story anyways, but it just quits getting talked about anyways. So what good is, you're right, man. I've gotten to that point. What good
when
is
you
it?
look at how many people die, like at the moment if you could go into look at the database across the states, the moment that Cybertruck exploded, there was probably, and I feel very safe in saying, but anybody can feel free to correct me, fact check my ass. But I guarantee you, at that moment that truck blew up, when it ignited, at that very moment, a good 500 people in this country died. Easy.
Yeah.
So that's a given. But yet you don't hear nothing about any of that. There's no, and it's not that people like in the area don't care. This is the attention you're supposed to be given. So look at this.
See, for
look
me,
at this.
It's the thing. That's the part for me is I like to be aware of it. I don't need to know the details because I know that there's some crooked bastards behind this shit. I know that until somebody comes out, like a decent attorney general comes out and fucking says, this is what happened, and shows us the proof, that it doesn't matter what I think about it. To me, the only thing that matters is that I'm aware that that type of thing happens.
Well, and that's why I say that I think the big discernment thing is it connected to you, and is it in your ballpark? Is this in your ballpark, or is this anything that you're connected to, or are you making any change, any impact? And if you're not, then I think that just needs to become almost like a little hobby thing. That'd be almost like the fiction novel you read, and it's just like, oh.
Well, you guys that were in the military were trained really well about that. Is it in your perimeter? Can you reach it with artillery? Do you have to call in air support? Can you do anything about that? It's like,
well, that's why we didn't have guys on one battlefield worrying about the guys on the other battlefield. You tended to your battlefield.
Yeah.
This is your OODA-loop. Now, let's see. What was it? Somebody said some up here. Where'd it go? Cha-Cha says, rescue, I agree. When I went through the wildfire, I was so hoped it wasn't intentional, but I lost everything. It doesn't matter if it was or not. It changes nothing. Yeah, even if you found out the name of the person that intentionally said it or nothing, it wouldn't bring nothing back. And I mean, I will say that if you found out who it was and they came in, they held them accountable, and, there was a punishment there, you could find, at least a little satisfaction and at least some justice was done, but it doesn't bring any objects back, And by the way, Indy, so this is your birthday and your, what is it now? Hold on, let me scroll up. Because it's the birthday shindig and a 2-year streaming anniversary.
Who's doing that?
By the way, happy birthday, Indy.
Well, happy birthday. She's like 32, 33 now.
I don't know. She's a spring chicken.
Well, I think I remember congratulating her on a 29th birthday a few years ago. So it can't be 29 all the time. It's got to change a little bit. I'm going to call her 32.
You know what? It can be whatever age you want it to be.
No, that's some fucking leftist fucking shit right there. All right, that's some weirdo shit right there.
Once you're out your parents' home, I mean, really, what's to say? I mean, you can be whatever age you want to be. You're as old as you feel.
All right, man. I guess if you're into pretending, I suppose there's nothing wrong with it.
Or you could always look at it like, we're supposed to go to about 120 years. So if you're 60 or thereabout, you're only halfway. So you're still.
That's why I tell everybody I'm 6 decades young.
See, that's just a pup. It is a very scary ass thing to think that I'm going to do this for another fucking 50 to 60 years, but that's
you're fucking pushing it now.
Went from a happy day to a depressing day really quick. It's like, damn, boy, that will be a lick there.
I mean, when you're like 100 years old, are you grateful or are you just like miserable? I mean, what?
I guess it's the life you've led where you're at.
All right. Well, okay. So my knee would probably just have already left. All right. By 100 years old, the way my knee is now, that's not going to be enjoying it.
Well, see, that's what you look at then. You look at that and go, where am I going to be at when that moment happens? And it's like, then you might start rebuilding that area to So it has a different outcome.
So in other words, I should be building the robotic leg now.
Well, or at least getting your resources together so you know maybe you ought to buddy up with Elon. You can get you in one of them suits.
Oops, if that became a problem, I'm going to become an aquatic amphibian in a swamp somewhere.
Hey, maybe the 100 age is why they came up with a bidet. Oops. Because you couldn't reach back there no more, so you just hit the button and let the jet water take over.
Well, I think Americans mostly got garden hoses at least.
Or this is where, I guess with Medicare, you have your home nurse come in and you just say, hey, when I hit the bell, I'm going to need help. And then whenever they come in, you just lean forward and they tend to biz. Hope it's a friendly person. It's going to get real intimate pretty quick.
Now, these are the thoughts I'm going to be stuck with as I try to fall asleep tonight. Great.
See, man, you can't think of yourself as old and worn down. Then you'll start feeling it even more. Have you ever noticed that? Like if you cut yourself or you hit against something and you just broke skin. You just broke skin. But it's like instinctively that if you look at it and the more you look at it, then it starts hurting more. So you just ignore it and you just move on. Well, that's what you do with age, man. You can't focus on that. Otherwise, it'll make you feel like shitty.
No, I'm even worse. I look at the cut and I go, okay, this fucker hurts. I'm going to spread it open to get it to hurt as much as it fucking possibly can. I'm going to check it out, maybe wash it out, make it hurt, just make it hurt. That way when I leave it alone, it feels better.
At 100, don't you poop like a rabbit? I don't know. I guess it depends on what the input is. The input always affects the output. Maybe that's why they feed people Jello and stuff, is so you don't end up with the rabbit pellets. Rabbit pellets are a sign of low fiber.
What is this oops shit saying, oh, poor Carl? How often do you hear me complain? I mean, I'm not a big complainer because I've realized fucking complaining don't do a whole lot in real life. Usually makes it worse.
When you reach 90 and yell, I wiped my own ass. Right, Blackbird? The small achievements when you get older.
I don't want nobody wiping my own ass. I'm going to go live in a fucking wilderness somewhere where I ain't got to worry about it. I've had to wipe some people's ass in my life. I don't know if you all have, but
Dude, I raised kids. Hell, I've been peed on, shit on. And then I took care of my mom when she passed. So and then swung the whole age gamut the other way.
Well, I've even wiped the ass of adults who couldn't do it. All right, and I'm telling you, they don't enjoy it. They feel absolutely embarrassed isn't even the right word. They look like they feel shamed. All right, and it's it's a bodily function. It's got to be done. It's a thing. But when you have to do that for somebody, you don't acknowledge it. You might. I don't know. That's just a weird thing to have to do, dude. It's a rough existence I wouldn't want to be in.
Hey, Billy, like this, you get the little zipper pouch. And OMG.
That's one of them old coin pouches. I ain't seen a coin pouch. In it too. Yeah, I ain't seen a coin pouch in fucking decades, man.
Let's see. I think this is one of my, I guess I could call this my bug out coin bag. Because I think it has the coins from Mexico and shit in it. Yeah. I got Canadian coins and Mexican coins and U.S. coins in here. I guess I could call this my bug out coin bag.
Because you don't know what direction you're going?
That's it. I can go in any direction and I still got a few change. I'll be able to get air from the gas station air compressor.
Actually, I do keep some quarters in my kit because I always, if you're walking somewhere, you might run into a pop machine. You might need to go to a laundromat. You know, back in the day, you could use it for quarters for telephone or whatever, even dimes. But I don't know if that's as important in a bug out bag anymore. You know what I mean?
Hey, what's up, Brian? Good afternoon.
I still save all my buffalo quarters and all of my bat quarters. You know about the bat quarter?
The bat quarter?
Yeah, the
No.
one with the New Mexico quarter with the bats on the back. There's a double stamped one that sells for right around $20,000. So
wow.
always check your quarters. There's actually several coins that are minted even today that are super valuable, and you should always watch for them.
Oh, we got all kinds of weird money around here because that's the missus when she was at the bank before she did it, and now she's back at the bank, so she just does it again. But it's like $2 bills. They'll get some old ass money that you can tell people went in, and it's like they got their old money, and she'll sit there and she'll look at it and she'll go, "Oh, I'm going to set these to the side," and then she'll reach in her purse and she just replaces it. And so we got a few old coins. That's her stash, though. I don't fuck with her stash. That's her stash. I just stash it for her.
It's all right, Bonnie. You can call me old. It's all right.
Hell, I used to never wanted to be called old. Now I'm totally cool with it because I never thought I was going to survive this long in the first fucking place. Because to call old, it's like, yep, I survived.
That's fucking exactly right, dude. I can remember being a teenager thinking, man, I ain't gonna live past 21, and I really believed it. So now this is like 3 times as long. This is all bonus. All right, this is all like a bonus round for me. I don't even think I should still be here, but I am. So it's like having a free guy. Free life on a video game or something.
A good bug up badge should always have a stuffed bunny. You may need it for a scared child. You may need it to sneeze on before passing it to a female agent. Lots of uses.
Well, I think the chat's come to a general consensus that I am old. Thank you, folks. I appreciate that. I don't know, man. In a way, I feel old, and in another way, I don't. All right, because I work with young guys, and they can't keep up with me. All right, so I mean, I know I look old, but I don't really feel old.
Cheryl says she's asking us that back quarter come out in 2020.
There was something like that, yeah. And I saw one literally sell for 19 grand. Ever since I saw a quarter sell for $19,000, I've been watching.
I know it was back in, was it in 76 when they did at 1 year, remember they did those state quarters.
They've got all of them, I think, now. I don't know. I see new ones every now and then.
I can't remember what year that was. We got some books that we were filled up for the kids with those.
Oh, yeah. We did that with the pennies and stuff when I was younger.
Look, Blackbird says shit when they card me for I'm to the point of saying thank you.
Right? I know. I grab my beard and I go, really? And then they go, well, we got to ask. I said, really? I mean, this is spray paint. You can't tell that I'm old enough to buy spray paint? It is kind of silly.
Well, see, there's another thing about society. We used to not have to worry about that until all of a sudden that became a thing of huffing that shit. And then people want to keel over. And it's like, okay, it's kind of like the warning label on the hairdryer. We made fun of it, but here we are. Boy, we see why now.
Mm.
Oh, see, G-Mall Merkel, that's too close into the city environment then. If you can just pick up the phone and call public trans and they come pick you up at your door, that's too close to people.
You would think that you could do that, but somebody like me who doesn't have a credit card can't use the public transit around here. You got to have a credit card to do that.
Oh, the D-Dog says a bicentennial quarter in 76.
I remember those. I remember getting a whole bunch of bicentennial stuff. I've got a Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, and the Constitution, all from this 1976 bicentennial thing. I want to get them. I have to go to Staples or something to get it done because I need an extra big scanner because it's on that old style paper, big, huge pieces.
G-Mall Merkel says she doesn't have to have a credit card.
Well, that's probably because it's where you are, but here in Michigan, in order to use that, it's only like, I heard it's like $3. They'll take you anywhere in the county, but they ain't doing it if you ain't got that credit card. I just grew up knowing about things like the three-legged buffalo nickel. You ever heard of that one? There's certain coins out there, dude, that if you find them, it's gonna make your day. You know, a 1943 copper penny, for instance, that kind of stuff.
Chuck said the entire year I was 20, I bought 1 to 2 times a week at the same store. And then 3 days after turning 21, the guy finally cards me. His expression was priceless. And then he realized all that time. It's like, we won't talk about the past. 99 is the first year of the state quarters. Okay, so is it 99? So yeah, then 2020 was probably that. It's probably why they had the bats on the back of that, because they did the state coins, and then each coin on the back had something that represents that state.
Well, you know,
my collection of 76 coins and $2 bills that are date stamped from July 4, 76 with the stars on each from the 13 original states. Hell yeah, Rabbit. Look at that.
That was a hell of a party, dude. 1976. They had a bicentennial party all over the state. And I can remember being at summer parties on the lake. And it was, you know, bicentennial everything. That was a hell of a good time.
Shoot, man. That was back. Well, see, it was cool to be an American. It was cool to love your country. And so everybody wanted to celebrate 76. Wow, that was now, you know, people want to try to degrade it. And just still the best it's ever been.
Takes me right back to this one party on the lake I lived on. There's like 100 pontoon boats and another 100 different kinds of boats, and they were all tied together. And there was kegs and beer and bars and bikinis and stuff all in every direction. And people are just like walking boat to boat of people they don't even know. And everybody was getting along and having a great time, swimming and diving and water skiing. It was like, that's fun,
what happens down here every year on Lake Livingston. They have big old gatherings on 4th of July, Memorial Day. Hell, I think even people get out there at Easter and Valentine's and shit. Just any people that water people is what I always call them. Water people. They'll find a reason to party on the water. Hey, Kim's Creation.
What's up, Kim?
Right Rock this one time in 1976. Dude, that whole time period in my life is a blip. I just remember little pieces. There's just...
I spent that year living in a canoe, man. I got a hold of a canoe, and even if there was ice on the lake, that'd be the only time I wouldn't be in that canoe. You know, the whole couple years, I just spent canoeing everywhere. That was the life, man.
See, I don't, man. I hit about 1980. All of a sudden, my life seemed to fast forward, and it's like for about 20 years, I was just at about 101 miles an hour. Went through all kinds of shit. Just
another thing happened in 76. I was pretty young, and I was doing, paper routes and mowing lawns and stuff like that. But the bottle return started in Michigan in 1976. And because I lived on that lake, I could fill my canoe. I was making $300 in a day on a weekend, just filling my canoe up, going to the party store, turning all the bottles in. Dude, I had more fishing gear than any kid should have ever had. I would take hundreds of dollars
Hell,
and
back
go up
then
to
at
Kmart.
$300, you could have bought a house, dude.
Dude, I had more fishing gear. I had everything. I had the trolling motor and the seats and the rod holders and the light setup. And I mean, my canoe was decked out. I had a
Hell, in
boathouse full of
1980, dude, I made $5 an hour and thought I was in big shit working. That was $200 a week.
As a kid, dude, that bottle return thing gave me more money than any kid should have had. I'm not
We used
even
to
kidding.
return to the Dr. Pepper factory. We had that down in Beaumont. But nothing like that. Yeah, that's for sure. Especially in the 70s. Oof.
It was nobody was picking their bottles and cans up.
Jam days.
They had thrown their bottles and cans away in Michigan all those years, and then the bottle return came, and it didn't really change things. Nobody was picking their bottles up. The lake was full of them. I could just go around with a net on the shore and make buku bucks, dude. It was a hell of a deal.
Yep. 76, D-Dog was 10.
Yeah, a little older than that, but
I was pretty busy being born.
That's fucking another thing. Is why I'm surprised I'm still here, because I started everything really young. I was smoking and drinking.
That's
and
true, G-Mama.
all that stuff before I was 9 years old, man. I was active in everything at age 9, so I shouldn't even be here, folks. I'm telling you.
Jim Margo says 76 was fun. There were some hard times, but that was before seatbelts and you could drink and drive. Oh, I know. I remember, man, I remember growing up. Shit. The one things I can remember was being a kid. When I was a little kid, I remember sleeping in the back window of my mom's car.
It's kind of hard.
And my dad actually had a Lincoln, and I would sleep in the back window of it too.
It's kind of hard. I'm picturing you fitting up in there, Rescue.
Oh, when I was a little kid, And plus, them old Lincolns, buddy, that was the big boats, man. Now you had like a portable living room in the back seat.
Dude, I get it, man. I traveled from Michigan to Texas multiple different ways, several times, riding in the top of a camper, right? Over the cab where you got all the windows and the panoramic view, I saw the whole country from the top of that camper several times. I love that shit. It wasn't, looking back at it now, it really wasn't safe, but we did it.
Brian says, I remember leaded fuel and lead paint chips and other yummy stuff fly. Oh, licking 9-volt batteries too. I know, right?
I actually have. I don't have to.
The bottle return. Kid was lucky to find 20 cents worth in an afternoon. I know, that's why I say we did the bottle thing too, but especially, man, because $300 a day, that's
big money.
That was some serious change.
Yes, it was. And like I said, I'd go to Kmart, because Kmart used to have a
You literally made in 1 week more than professional people made in a month.
Off of scavenging. I know, man. I know.
Rock the South, June 21st. Alabama is up. Alabama, didn't y'all get snowed in? Somebody said earlier Alabama got snow.
It's still whiteout conditions here, Rescue. All the buildings are covered with snow, and there's no distinction between the peak of the roof of the sky. That's what it looks like here right now. It's just everything's white.
Dude, I got a picture. Oh gosh, when was that? Let's see. We built this place in 81, 82-ish. I think 80, 81-ish. And so I think it was probably somewhere in the late 80s. We finally got snow down here. And I mean, we got a good blanket of snow. And I remember going out there and taking a picture, and we made postcards of them because it was just so like off the chart. It's like, yep, in Texas, and everything had this couple of inch layer of snow over everything. And it looked pretty wild. So I mean, y'all get to see that every year. Down here, that was a trip. I want to say that was the late 80s.
Michigan's had a lot of mild weather, though. I mean, there's been several Christmas with no snow on the ground here in Michigan, at least in the lower peninsula. You know, it's not the way it used to be. This is right now we've got more snow than we've had in recent years. You know, it's weird that you guys down there are getting this weather. To me, you know, I know it happens once in a while, but a lot of the country is getting snow right now, from what I understand.
We've had weird weather. You know, it's just different times and things. It's just that everything's been so spun out of control the past 8 years that everything's sus. Kush says, when I was little, I had a small box for savings, and I used to shake that to cousins and family friends who would come to visit. There you go.
Blackbird, most people don't like that. I love to drive in a whiteout.
My first official job, I think, was $3 an hour washing dishes and food prep in a pizza shop. I was 12, no tips. Oh, Billy said they did. Alabama PJ put up a short making snow angels.
Bonnie, I remember right around 1970 going down to Amarillo when they had snow, and that was not normal for them then. You know, same thing when I was down south. Saw Greensboro, North Carolina, closed down because of I don't know, it was like 7 inches of snow or something. They didn't have snow plows, snow shovels, snow gear of any kind. I remember walking downtown Greensboro, North Carolina in 1986, and no one was around. I had the whole city to myself because I was the only one that had snow gear.
Oh, there. Bonnie said it was the mid 80s, had 14 inches of snow in Texas. What did I miss? Only them 3-cent Olay bottles. I banked truckloads of it. Brian says I pimped my mom out to my dad for $50 when he came in town. He gave me money to go out and play while Dad played with Mom. Yeah.
She's talking about Olympia beer, man. I think that's you guys got Olympia beer. We used to get Olympia beer in balls. It was a big white nylon ball of beer, like 10 gallons of beer for $21. Come with its own little tap, and then you could make a giant bong out of the big ball when you were done with it. A lot of people had Olympia beer bongs. You know,
down here we had to see everybody. Most people down around in here were Budweiser fans because we had the Anheuser-Busch place in Houston.
Had that.
And I did drink Budweiser back when I was young. There was a time in life I drank everything. You just pour it in the cooler, we mix it all together, and I just drink it. Called it Moondog Punch. It was just whatever. Now I don't drink. I know beer. I just can't do beer. Instantly blow. Don't really care for it. If I do drink a beer, it's got to be ice cold and it's got to be 100 degrees outside. And then it's kind of like, okay, I guess.
I don't enjoy it, man. I get a headache. I'll drink 1 beer, fine. Drink 2 beers, I'll start to get a headache. I'll start to get my hangover before I can't drink fast enough to fight the hangover. So I don't drink beer. That's why I like whiskey. I don't have that problem with whiskey or tequila.
Yeah, I'm not a drinker no more. My reasoning for me is I don't like putting anything into my body that I don't have any control over. And it's like, that's why I don't like pills. This little pill thing I just went to see, I
don't like going that far. I don't like going that far.
I don't like doing the pills. I don't like the alcohol because it just changes you. It just does. Or changes me. I'll put it that way. It changes me, and I don't like what it changes me to. And I don't like that I can't just not be that way when I don't want to be. So that's why I choose not to do any of that.
I thought you didn't wear dresses, G-Ma. I thought you didn't wear dresses.
I got into a fight with my mom over a peach-colored dress. I was 9. I did not like that. I did not like that. I wanted Ovies. She said when I got a job, I could wear what I want. Next fucking day, I joined the grind. That's what did it with me. My dad said, if you don't like the rules in my castle, you need to build your own castle. And I was like, well, alrighty.
Uh-huh. Believe me, I did too. I always had my shed or the barn or the workshop or whatever. I always had a place, that I could get away from everyone. Usually a workshop in like the far end of the basement where nobody liked to go anyways.
Oh hell, I moved out. I moved out and then had to move back for a month before I left for the army, before they had signed the paper. And then I left. I don't.
Yeah, I did
Well,
that
yeah, I
too, but I
came
didn't
back
do it
there
that way.
for a little bit.
I did a little different than you. I think most of my life I was trying to escape home, because I was a runaway. I did a lot of that. I don't even really like it enough to try Kush, but
I
there's
can't be
been
called a
times.
runaway because I never came back. Really, I just kind of ran and then just did my thing. And well, for a while there, it was at about 101 miles an hour, but somewhere I came to a stop and went, "Oh shit!" And then I had a
Look,
kid.
by
Changed
the time I
everything.
was 10, though, I don't know about your family, but by the time I was 10 years old, I was being left at home from 4 in the afternoon, right? I get out of school, go home. My mom would be at work from 4 to midnight, and I was supposed to stay home alone during all that time. That's where it started. I was not going to sit home by myself for all those hours. Next thing you know, I would be coming home just before midnight. Next thing you know, I would be late, and my mom would, be pissed off, and it just escalated, dude. From age 10 to 15, I was either on the run or locked up because of it. So I
Hell,
couldn't
from
wait
the
to
age
get
of
that
10 to
place on.
14, I was a caretaker of my mom while her life was upside down and my parents were divorced. And I was a, I was a rambunctious kid who had anger problems, is what they used to say.
I think they thought I was hyperactive because I couldn't sit still for more than a few minutes because I had to go, man. I had to go. I had to do
Matter
something.
of fact, what was it? There was I think it was right at the time they were coming up with Ritalin, and they wanted to put me on that. And I got put in all kinds of places because of my
Me
anger
too, man.
issues. That's how
Me
hell I
too.
learned sign language while I was in some place for my anger issues, and I was roomed with a deaf kid, so that's how I learned the sign language, the alphabet and sign language. Weird shit. I still remember that to this day. Kind of weird.
Every place they put me like that, rescue I'd run. Star Commonwealth, boys training school,
Hell,
Camp
that's where I learned
Oakland,
the game.
Wolf
That's what I used
Ed,
to tell the missus when we had kids.
Carolina,
I learned
J
the gift of
Building.
gab because you learn how to talk shit and you learn how to tell people what they want to hear. I learned the game, buddy, back in those days. That's why I'll tell anybody. Send people all to them rehabs and jails and all them places. All you're doing is teaching them how to play the game. And
All I did was
what I
fucking
did.
get the fuck out of there, dude. I got out. All right, I would run. They put me in all places all over the state, and I'd just leave, man. Just couldn't stay. I would rather be
Crap.
living on the streets on the run than stay in one of them places. I hated them.
Billy, I can't believe you didn't insulate your shop. You didn't have no insulation. Holy crap. That's bad. Graduated at 17, was on my own then. I didn't graduate till I was like actually 18 or 19 in jail with a GED. I quit before my senior year and joined the Army. I wanted out. There had to be better, and somehow I don't know what I was thinking, because then all of a sudden I got off this bus and there was even more people screaming at me and shit even went worse. And it was like, damn, I went from the frying pan to the fire. Ritalin was the worst. Tried to put my son on it. Yeah, and I didn't recognize it back then, but that's down in Houston in that medical center part, and having all these experimental type things. And I
I
just
never
remember
got
that
none of
name.
that, man. They never. I mean, they threatened me with something called Thorazine. when you're in a maximum security holding facility for juveniles.
Used to watch people up in Rusk Hospital do the Thorazine shuffle. They would walk up to the little window and then walk back doing the shuffle.
Man, rescue! I watched a guy fall asleep against a bulletproof glass. When they first brought him in, he was beating the walls and the bulletproof glass. Beating his head on him, beating it with his hands. And they came in there, put him in the paper robe, and then shot him up with the Thorazine. And I watched him go from absolute fury and anger to just laying against that window with his face against it, tapping it with his bloody knuckles. Just like he would go. He went from wham, wham, wham to 5 minutes after he got the Thorazine, he was like, tap.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it knocks you. That's why it's like, man. Blackbird said, I was the kid in the yearbook that had the caption read, most likely to be found dead. Damn, Blackbird. Tuck says, I don't have anger issues. I keep it inside like Tony Stark's arc reactor. It's my power source. Oh, no, not me, man. I had to learn how to vent that shit. Because which I will say, over the years, I have fucked some shit up, but I've always fixed whatever it was, or I'll replace it. So I always did that.
I like to bottle up all my suppressed hostilities and save them for a special occasion.
The walls are about the same. Do what now?
I said I like to bottle up all my suppressed hostilities and save them for a special occasion.
Oh man, see, mine already stays topped off, so I'm like one of them little caning things. My little bubbler has to jiggle, and I have to let that vent. Whenever I kept that off too much, shit gets really bad, and it can go bad fast. What's up? Actions, not distractions. Excuse me.
Them fucking Thorazine needles were huge. There was no fucking way I was going to let them stick one of them fuckers in me.
Blackbird said he didn't get just Thorazine. He got the black box combo. I know I laughed and told the missus when I got ran over that time, your dad put you on life flight. They flew me down into Herman, and they brought me back, and I was down there, but I was in a coma. I was out. But apparently at some point, the missus said that I said, I got to pee. And somebody heard me, so they came over and just told me to go pee. It's okay, just do it. And I said, no. And she said, you started to get up, and make a short version of the long story. Basically, I got up off this gurney, apparently, and I'm arguing with them that I got to go pee. And then I have no gown on, so I'm standing there in all my glory. Well, apparently, they kept saying, well, just go. You can go pee. Just go where you are. And I looked down, and when I saw the catheter, she said, as you look at that catheter, and it's like as soon as you saw it, your hand moved, and the guy that was holding on to your arm reached down in his pocket, and he pulled out this needle, and they just shot you in the arm. And you just went limp. And I said, yeah, that was that call. You're just going to shut the fuck up shot. And I was fixing to grab that catheter. They were like, no. And then I went limp. They put me back on there. That's one good sign, too. The kids can read the room. They're just tapped into something while they're still innocent before they've been polluted by all the crap in the world. My kids, all the way down from here, down to that hospital, were snot, tears, wailing, everything. They come in, they're coming into the ICU. And she said when they walked up to the gurney and they touched my hand, they just stopped crying. They just stopped crying and started just looking around. And we just started talking normal. And I was like, yeah, see, it's like they just know. It's just like, you're going to be okay. Hey, Miss Cindy, what's up? Good afternoon. She says, hey, folks, been listening for a minute and need a chore break. Y'all sound like a bunch of rebels, LOL. And glad Rescue has a pet cock on his pressure cooker. Yep. Got to keep the pressure kind of under control.
Well, it kind of sounds like you know who we are, Cindy. I might be a little bit rebellious. I might be.
Best Life said, I watched my 2-year-old yank an IV out of her arm. Oh, yeah. Man, that's the hardest thing I got to say is Man, anytime watching anything with kids, it reaches in and it taps into us a part that I'm not even sure if some people even know that they have that part in them. But
well, I know that kids and animals are the same way when it comes to how you react to an emergency. All right. Let's say that, your dog or your kid sliced their paw open and they come up to you bleeding. If you go, oh my God, we got to go to the hospital, blah, blah, that kid's going to start crying. The dog's going to fucking faint. Something, it's like, okay, all right, we got you. We can fix this. The way you react to one of those situations can mean the difference because
that's because you're
scare the
teaching them how
shit
to
out of
react. They don't know how.
I mean,
You're teaching them. They're learning it from watching you. That's why I try to tell people it's like all the anger that these kids listen to nowadays, man, because that's all they hear. That's why I laugh and say, hell, most kids suffer from road rage before they ever got a driver's license because they just of what they hear in the back seat. Yeah, it's
had to move. That sucker was just blasting that horn every split second.
a high of 37. I think we're at 39 now. We're supposed to freeze tonight. I'll have to wrap the rose bush.
It feels like the teens here right now, and
Hey,
there's
son of a
been
gun.
no sun.
Welcome
We could
aboard
be
to the
below
Cluckin,
zero.
Alamo. Said Indy sent me. Happy birthday, Indy. Indy's probably still lurking. Maybe.
Or drinking. She could be drinking.
It's a birthday.
Maybe
It's your birthday. Party like it's your birthday. Brian says, I freak out to everything. No, you don't. You got your bunny, Brian. Tuck.
I think,
Yell out cold morgue, then say, just kidding.
I've come to the conclusion that everybody should spend their birthday the same way they came into this world, completely naked, all day.
Well, but see, you didn't have a choice when you were born. You kind of got a choice as an adult.
No. Either you're going to have a really good time or they're just going to leave you alone. So it works.
Oh, there's Indy. Son of a gunner come by, Indy. Said you sent him.
Indy sounds like she's 21 anyways. You ever notice that? Her voice makes her sound so young.
Right. G-Mom Myrtle says, my dad had a head injury and was in ICU. The nurse is trying to warn me, and I just wanted in there. My dad didn't know my name, but he bit me and said he'd be fine, and I knew it.
He bit her?
Well, that's one way, I guess, a detection system. Right now, that pressure, I can tell by the pressure of the bite. He's going to be okay.
Oh, man. I think I'm going feral, too. I really do.
What's up, Grumpy? I think the link's pinned if you want to come up. Anybody wants to come up, you can come up. If I know you, you know the deal.
That's right, Tuck. Pass the cake.
I'm just laundering people's beds in my puppy's bed. Glad to be in this realm today. There you go, Miss Cindy.
See, that right there proves that Garrett's not AI, because he just acknowledged what I said, and he's even agreeing with me.
Well, why does that prove he's not AI? I just agreed with what you said, so it sounds like maybe it would be.
So you're telling me that it's interactive artificial intelligence, that it's going to interact with us?
Don't we always talk about how AI is always listening, and if we talk about tinfoil, all of a sudden you get all the ads for tinfoil. Well, you're saying how young she looks, and all of a sudden here's Garrett saying she does sound young. You're right. It's almost like an AI bot agreeing with you.
All right, I guess you're right.
What's up, Covered by CQ? How are things across the pond?
I guess we're never going to know until he actually comes up and gives us the entertainment report on video.
Son of a Gunner says, camo is my favorite colors. Chuck, I just got this new recipe for cake. Oh, Lord. Grumpy says, I wanted to get a turkey naked one season. The people in the grocery store weren't Too happy with? I'm kind of wondering what kind of store you went to that was dressing up turkeys in clothes. Oh, you going to some of them weird shops, huh? I see how it goes, Grumpy.
Somehow I'm not even surprised anymore.
Cha-Cha says, why you think Garrett is AI? So explain yourself.
Well, because Virginia Roots brought it up that she's been trying to figure out, if he was real or not. Because he would come into a chat and say stuff, people would talk to him and even say things from the panel, and they'd get no acknowledgement. It took a long time before he started actually interacting and telling us about his life and that, but we still haven't seen him. Could be some kind of really advanced AI programming.
Oh. So this is like the YouTube AI bot slowly learning from us and adapting and becoming more knowledgeable and interactive.
That's a scary thought. Right, Bonnie. He's learning our ways.
Look, Brian's like, did Grumpy need that naked turkey for OnlyFans or something? Right. Why did you have the turkey dressed to begin with?
Yeah, this is getting to be weird.
I thought you were supposed to dress the turkey.
For the love of God, I thought turkeys could fly.
If people that dress like animals are called furries, what are animals dressed like humans called? Victims? Because it wasn't by their choice.
I'd call them predators because they're trying to disguise themselves to get in there to get their meat.
Virginia is definitely AI. I squeezed her and know now.
That's part of my plan, I'm when I drive around this country and meet all these folks, I'm gonna pinch each and every one of them just to make sure they're real.
Are you real? Tuck says, I thought Garrett was just a really cool, friendly AI. It's all good, man. I don't discriminate. At least it's a friendly one, right?
Right? That's a good point. Maybe he's good AI.
Gmo says you call them pets. No, I still say you call them victims. Poor animals didn't have a choice. They had that sweater and boots and shit put on them, and they were probably going, holy shit, the things I do for a dry place to stay. Son of a gunner says, we're getting 4 to 7 more inches of snow on top of the 5 inches we just had. I've been chainsawing a tree for my driveway all day. I'm old and about to drop.
Son of a gunner, I will stop by Kentucky. There's a few people there I got to go see.
Hey, son of a gunner, are you in the district with Thomas Massey? Is Thomas Massey your district's representative? That dude is a rock star.
Kentucky is a beautiful state. At least it was when I was there in the 80s.
Really? You are? You're in Thomas Massey's district? I don't know, man. I think that dude's a rock star. I mean, I love it. He keeps calling them out on all their stupid shit all the time. All these CR bills every time they bring one up.
See, now I'm getting mixed reports here. Cindy Loon has always said she's going to pull on my beard, so I guess it's fair if I pinch her. Blackbird says we're going to fight if I pinch her. Yeah. Well. I didn't know I was going to meet you, Blackbird, but I look forward to it now. You're in Missouri, aren't you? Shoot fire. There's a bunch of people in Missouri.
Son of a gunner says it's weird here with Bashir. Oh, yeah. Y'all need to change him out. Rabbit said the boy went out to play with the tractor because he's done for the day.
No.
This is true, Blackbird. I got to testify to that. She did not say fight, Carl.
I know.
She just said you wouldn't like the return. So that could be anywhere from a kick in the nuts to a punch in the face to a whack with a stick to another hug or a kiss on the cheek. Or that's like Russian roulette. It's like walk up to Blackbird and go, all righty, well, am I a gambling mood? Yeah, why not? Pinch. And then we just see what happens.
Well, that's kind of assuming of what I was going to pinch too. You know, didn't you ever have like a relative that pinched your cheek, you know, or anything like that?
Oh man, you'd always get the old people that want to pinch your cheeks and shit because they're so cute.
Right. Yeah.
So you might, then you go up and pinch her, you might be tapping into some hidden ass anger, anxiety that comes unleashed on your ass because it's a flashback for her, and all of a sudden here comes all that youth anger.
I guess I'll sure find out if she's real, huh?
Yeah, you'll definitely know it's real afterwards. It's Missouri. What do you mean, Missouri? It's not Missouri, it's Missouri. Missouri. Up there in the Missouri. Them Ozark people.
That's a cool state too, man. I went up in that arch, the St. Louis Arch, when I was a kid, all the way up to the top of that. I remember going over some pretty fantastic bridges, but also
thanks for being here, brother.
Really like the Ozark Mountains a lot. They're different kind of mountains, you know. Ozark's supposedly the oldest mountains in the country.
Billy says, oh shit, she's real. Oops, but you hate Jody, cha-cha. Oh, is the video a Jody video? Rabbit Blackbird says, Rabbit, the secret is in the sauce. Actually, the secret's probably in not knowing the sauce.
Son of a gunner, if you want to go to heaven, you got to raise a little hell. Why not?
No Jody, that's Ozark Mountain Daredevils. Man, I'd seen this a long time ago, but I got reminded of it watching the PBD podcast. And if you ever want to see some just intensive, wild training, you know, thinking things through, you know, walking through the plan of action, is watch the Blue Angels training video. Dude, that is so off the wall. They're sitting around in that boardroom and you can watch them, and some have their eyes closed, some have the terrain maps in front. Their hands are like they're on the controls, and they literally they're walking through the whole flight. Like the flight leader's already calling out, and he's taking his pen, and as they're doing their flight path over the terrain map, he's going, and we're banking in 550, and we're climbing now. And you can watch the guys in the chair. We're like, when he's got climbing now, they all reach over and they slam the thruster back, and then both hand the stick and pull back, and their heads are down. It's pretty awesome when you actually, I'm not even beginning to do it justice, but it's just, you watch them and the intensity that they're going through over the training flight. And you think, man, see, that's the dedication of people going to execute something, and they're walking through in their head the plan, and they're getting it down in their head. You know, we say things like muscle memory and shit, but this is, and dude, that's, which I mean, yeah, I've always loved the Blue Angels. I've seen them live, but I've just like I've seen that training video years ago, but then it just got reminded to me again, and it was like, man, it just, the intensity that people put into learning something. It's not the flying. You don't even see them fly anything. They're all in a boardroom around chairs, but it's, when you watch them, they're literally going through that whole flight mission without ever being in a plane. It's wild. Like I said, I can't even do it justice describing it because it doesn't. But it's literally they're walking through the flight. So whatever they were going to say on the radio, they're saying right then. You can see them acting like they're hitting the invisible buttons because they're walking through all the steps. Pretty awesome. Hey, what's up, Eric? Son of a gunner says my pops was a WW2 gunner in a ball turret. Son, that's some of the gutsiest guys on the planet. You just got to go watch history with that and see where they were at, the containment, and it's like, holy shit, dude. You're like all cramped up in that, and people are shooting flak at your ass.
That Ozark Mountain Daredevil song. That's if you want to go to heaven, you got to raise a little hell. That's a good tune, man.
Oh yeah.
I wonder.
Bonnie, look at you. Bonnie said she knew a guy named Jody. He taught her how to French kiss.
I don't even know if I can show it or not, but I might know a little bit. Let's see.
Rabbit says it is best life, and so is KC. Just stay out of them crap holes, and you'll be fine. Just listen for the banjos. We're friendly like.
This shit ain't easy, dude. Can you see that?
Your knee?
No.
Or what? I don't know what body part. I hate to ask that like that, but
that's my arm, dude. But I'm trying to show a tattoo that I did myself when I was 12.
Oh.
Can you read it?
No, it's over on the side. See some of the wording. Yeah.
That's impossible to show that. Anyways, it says born to raise hell. Age 12, I really thought I was.
Oh yeah, hell, we all had them goofy use. Hell, I got Bad Company tattooed on my chest because that's it, buddy. I was a riding, and I was a outlaw biker thug. I was gonna be a badass outlaw. That's it. Rules don't apply to me. I don't give a shit. And then I thought, well, I'm gonna die one day, so I did the Bad Company tattoo because that was my songs was The Shooting Star and Seagull. Those were my two getting really fucked up and depressed songs.
No, I get it, man. Those are both jams.
Yep. That's why I got Bad Company tattooed, Shooting Star.
I get it, man. I do. That's a good band. What's up, Cola? My other tattoo is a Harley Davidson wing, so.
Hey, Cola. Hell, I got a vulture. I got a lion. I got Yosemite Sam. I got Tasmanian Devil as a firefighter on my back.
Well, I got a cross.
Man.
I got a cross tattooed because later on I realized I really wasn't born to raise hell. I had to counter it.
My only tattoos were done when I was 12 with Indian ink. They remind me not to get tattoos.
That's what mine are, exactly.
Dude, my first tattoo I did, I took a spoon and I lit it on fire and I collected the ash, and then I took this little bit of Johnson baby shampoo, mixed it with it, and I mixed it all together. And to this day, I have a J in my forearm because her name was Jeanette, and I was going to impress her. And I took this needle, wrapped thread around it, and I would sit there and I literally have it dot by dot, the letter J. And it just goes to show you, though, how long that shit lasts.
That's how we did it, man. We did it with a drop of water and cigarette ash with a needle wrapped with thread. And when I did mine, I actually used India ink because, you could buy a bottle of India ink for like $1. Right. And I didn't know that you didn't have to go that deep. So when I did my tattoos, man, there's like fucking 1/8 of an inch of needle that was before you wrap the thread on. So I went really deep. All right.
Well, see, I have a little scatter pattern right here on the palm of my hand is what I did. Because when I first went to do that, I was like, I wonder how bad this is going to hurt. So I dipped it and I went, oh, that's not so bad.
Right. Yeah. Went through I got what I call my mescaline dot on my other arm because I was just testing to see what it was going to feel like. because I'm on the run from the maximum security, the worst place, J Building, downtown Pontiac, Michigan. I'm on the run from that place, and I met up with some bikers, and they were letting me hang out at the bike club in downtown Pontiac, and they ended up staying there a couple weeks, and I got some whiskey one night, and I'm like, I'm going to do my tattoos. And I sat there on the picnic table drinking. I had 2 bottles of whiskey. I was 1 bottle in when I'd finished my right arm. I got a big Harley Davidson wings on my forearm and that Born to Raise Hell on my bicep. And I was going to do 2 more tattoos on the other side. And I figured, okay, because I'm right-handed predominantly. I can use both arms, but I'm predominantly right-handed. So I figured, well, I start drinking, I'll use my right hand to do the left. And then when I'm so drunk, I'll be able to use my right hand to do the left arm. You know what I'm saying? So I was planning it, but then I realized, dude, I'm just too drunk. I put 1 dot on my other forearm, and that's where I stopped.
Yeah, I got mine, and then did the Army, and of course that needs another one, and because hell, you just come out of basic. Everybody you gotta go get a tattoo, man. We all just went through basic, yeah. So I did that, and then I came back, and of course it'd be like go hang out at the tattoo shop, so get tattoos.
When did you live there, Loretta? I know so many people from Pontiac. That would be weird. We probably know people in common.
Hey, Matt, what's up, buddy? I didn't see you come in. Sorry, sir.
What's up, Matt? That'd be weird, Loretta. Because I
Zero
bet
tattoos for Matt.
I known 3 Lorettas from that area, Loretta. One of them that I knew the best had a sister named Julie. You don't have a sister named Julie, do you?
I just have a coot devil chick. They wouldn't do an angel chick on the other. They said who was I fooling? Oh, I'll be right back.
Very, very interesting. Well, Loretta, then you know where Telegraph Road is, and where that where the big fence is in the juvie. I probably wouldn't do tattoos now. I was in a different world, different state of mind when I was a kid. Now I don't have any interest in them. It kind of want to get my Born to Raise Hell covered. If I ever do that, it's going to be of a dog I had. But I'm just, I don't see a need. They're not a need. To me, it sounded like a cat. Oops, but I think it might have been I don't know what it was.
Okay, back. Sorry about that.
It's all good. I could always cover for you for a while. Try.
Well, that was a friend hollering at me. I was expecting his call earlier, but I told him, I said, I'll call you back here in just a little bit.
'70s up to '87, then Sarasota. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll tell you, Loretta, from the '70s to '87, I spent quite a few times. Man, I've been to, I spent a lot of time on the streets of Pontiac as a kid, but later on in life, I went to a lot of parties and stuff, knew a lot of people that lived in Pontiac, know the whole place by the back of my hand, I've lived on Kennett Street. I worked at Charlie's off of Flint Street, the upholstery shop in Pontiac, which was a cool deal, man. I mean, I worked for this old guy, and I was the only white guy I ever saw there.
Make it a great day, Cindy. Thanks for coming by.
And this, this was back in the '90s, but I worked down there in the city, and I never saw another white dude the whole time I worked there, and I never had a problem. They all loved me, man. I loved all of them. Here I'd pull into town in the big, ugly camouflage truck and my dog. Charlie let my dog. That's one of the deals because my dog went everywhere, and I'd go park there in the morning, wait for everybody to show up, go in there, sew. They didn't have anybody that could sew. I had all these guys that could put stuff together and tear stuff down and sandblast and all that, but none of them could sew. And but Charlie was really old by the time I got there. So that was, he was trying to sell the place to me and I couldn't buy it. Couldn't afford that shit. But yeah, it's just, I like to bring that up because I'm telling you, I saw every ethnic group on a daily basis and I never had any problems. You know what I mean? There was no racism.
Hey, what's
at
up,
all.
Anti-Jet? He comes sliding in. Cha-Cha said, couldn't decide on a tattoo, so I have now too many choices. Oh, and Matt said he's seen some really nice looking. There are. It's, to be honest, I'd rather have a damn drawing or picture now. Although, I mean, I don't knock them. They are what they are. It's just learning to accept what's already there. I mean, they got their memories. They got their, hell, I got a buzzard on my forearm. It says, patience my ass.
I remember that. I remember that one. I mean, not on you, but I remember seeing the font, you know, the tattoo font of those. Yep, patience my ass. Let's go kill something.
Yeah, that was my first marriage, and I was all flustered, and it was just have patience. Somebody said that one time, and I was sitting down with some friends I rode with, and I mean, patience my ass. And then somebody goes, oh, you know, there's a drawing about that. And I saw it and I said, yeah, okay. And so that's what we put that right there. Patience my ass.
I didn't put a lot of thought into it either, man. I just went with it. You know, back when I was younger, I had to have been a totally different person because I wouldn't be that way now.
Right. Oh, wow. Cool.
Pontiac was a trip rescue. I remember walking down the street one night and I thought it was a possum. You know those little drains that are built right into the curb on the side of the road? They're like a little rectangular opening going down to the drains. No grate or nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I thought I saw a possum stuck in one. All right. And I walk up, dude, and I realized by looking at the tail, that wasn't a fucking possum. But it was the size of a full-grown adult possum. That's what a Pontiac rat can grow to. They're monstrous, dude. They're big as a cat.
We got them down here. We just call them neutral rats.
Yeah, I've seen those. People eat those.
Well, yeah, there's people that eat a lot of shit too, but that's I know I ain't eating no neutral rat. They're better than I'll eat a neutral rat when there ain't nothing else to eat.
Well, that's because they live in the swamps and stuff outside. Them fucking sewer rats, you can smell them. They smell like fucking methane from a block away. You know, they're nasty fucking.
They're scavengers. That's they're scavengers.
Even a possum's a scavenger. It's like the garbage truck of the forest, but they don't smell like a skunk, man. I mean, a rat. Those rats really reek from being down in the sewers.
Oh yeah. Lady I knew years ago got a wizard tattoo on her left boob. The wizard's hat probably a lot taller now.
See, Pontiac
from the tall man wizard.
Pontiac is one of those cities that they built right over the rivers. There's a river under the city, all right? They keep building over top of it. They capped it off, top it off, and then they just build over it.
Oh, yeah. Hell, that's New York.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of wetlands. So there's an underground world that I've seen, dude. It's totally different from what people think above. A lot of people even live there don't know what's underneath them.
Grumpy said, when I was a kid, I saw a scary clown in a storm drain, and then they made a movie of it.
Yeah.
Oh, they're discovering all kinds of shit. Hell, they got that damn ship that they discovered when they went to redo the towers.
Yeah.
So that damage. I mean, there's so much that we just look at how much people have forgotten from 20 years ago. Hell, they're rewriting history just through the digital age. Look at all the things that supposedly didn't happen, or they happened a totally different way now. It just, so how much more shit will people forget about? Plus, I watched the thing. They're putting these stupid things. They're doing it over there in Egypt with like the Sphinx. They're putting these stupid stones, rebuilding the paws and stuff, and it doesn't even look the same. So you're trying to rewrite history. That's another. See, here's my pet peeve with this Gulf of America shit. Leave it the way it was. Just fix what's broken. Quit changing shit.
Yeah, how about we deal with real stupidity before we make artificial intelligence? Kind of like that.
Oh, that AI is here. It's been here. It's been here for decades. It's just that it's the topic now that people are catching because it's reached another status. But it's like the dogs. People talk about the robots and man. We've had those around for over a decade. The robot dog's been using them in mines.
Oh God, yeah.
So,
Cheryl, when I was dropped you, are you still alive?
my dog got into a porcupine talk about painful. Oh man, that's why they got fences built in.
I got something to say about that. We had Great Danes when I lived up north when I was younger, and the female Great Dane was smart as a whip. When she had puppies, we kept one of them, and we had a monster that we named Lance, and it was a Harlequin Great Dane. It's all different colors, but this thing hated porcupines, and he would disappear at night, and he'd show back up in the morning, and he'd have hundreds of quills all over his head, in his eyes, in his tongue, in his throat, inside his mouth. I pulled quills out of eyeballs more than once, but this gigantic, almost 200-pound Great Dane, we would get 3-4 people holding this thing down, take a towel, fold a beach towel in half, roll it, twist it up, and put it into the back of his mouth so we could hold his mouth open to pull the quills out. And that dude, he could bite through a beach towel like that within a few gnaws, like 1, 2, 3. Okay,
that's how I used to exhale my weed when I'd smoke in my room with my dad, so he wouldn't know I was. I'd roll up a towel and blow in the end of it, and then no fumes or anything went out in the room.
Oh, I know that trick too. But
of course, I did get questioned about this round-looking stain that was on the towel when you unfold it. And it's like, what are these marks on the towel? Don't worry about that. Just bleach it; it'll go away.
Rescue, that dog was so pig-headed, he not only got into the quills, he killed the fucking porcupine and would bring him home.
Oh, I can believe it. I mean, that's when I met the missus. I used to have a pit bull back then, Dixie, son, and that chick did not like my SCBA. I could literally be sitting looking at her 1 foot away from her face, talking to her, reach up on my head and grab that SCBA. And as it cleared my face, all of a sudden the ridge would come up and her teeth would start to show. I could reach and raise it up. And the minute my face cleared, okay. Dude, that dog would jump in a fire. If I burnt any limbs or leaves, I had to chain her up because she would just run and jump in the middle of the burn pile and start throwing logs and shit out when I mowed. That was probably the most aggressive dog, and not to people, but just, man, if she didn't like something, that was it. My lawnmower, she would latch on to the tires. I would run over her head accidentally because she would just latch on and it would roll and be like, oh, shit. So then I'd have to chain her up. My weed eater, she would bite the head of a gas weed eater and just stop it, stall it right out. I had scars on the side of her face. She was that dog. But, buddy, got along with everybody, got along with people. Kids would ride her like a mule. She
loved people.
She didn't like fire and she didn't like guns. Oh, man, there you go. Now, there's your little story of her destructive little ass one day. So I had rented this little trailer house, single wide. And the people that rented it to me, they lived across the street. And he had some pretty cool antique guns. And he had gotten in this British 303. And he said, hey, I'm going to go shoot the British 303. You want to come? And I said, sure. So I left Dixie in the house, and she was cool with being inside. Man, I went across the street. We went around his house to the backyard, and we were sitting there shooting that British 303. And well, he was
A real infield.
so he was shooting that British 303, and dude, all of a sudden, I just got hit in the back. Boom, push forward, and I sat back up, and her ass was on the ground, and then she saw a cow, so she went after the cow. And I was like, holy shit, well, I got her. We go back to the house. Dude, under the window, beside the door, she had chewed and gouged all the way through the paneling and the insulation. She left claw marks in the aluminum siding, and then she just backed up and just jumped right through the damn window. But that gunfire drove her crazy. She couldn't see me. There was guns. Nope. Where are you at? What's going on? Got to get there. And she did. I'll be like, damn, I didn't whip her or nothing. I just like, holy shit, dude. Repanel, insulation, window.
What happened with the cow?
Oh, I stopped her before she got to the cow. Had to kind of scream, holler, do the whole threatening thing, and she finally skidded to a stop before the cow. She was just going to go and that cow was something new. What the hell is that? Are you part of the booming? Most dogs don't like SCBAs. Yeah, man, she did not dig that. Used to crack her. Every bit of gear would be just fine, but I'd reach up and I could just touch that SCBA, and the minute it cleared my face, son, it's like, I don't know what the fuck you just did with my dad, but I could raise it and be like, oh, there you are. Okay. No matter how many times I did it, dude, she never changed. I don't know.
That's funny because that same Harlequin Great Dane, one day we're all just sitting in the house and we got these sliding glass doors goes to the front deck. And
ran through the door.
A new mailman that we'd never seen before, a substitute mailman, just walks up on the deck like normal, like he's going to put the mail in the mailbox. And that Great Dane looked up and saw somebody he never saw before, and he didn't even think about it, dude. He went right through that plate glass of those sliding doors. Both doors just shattered to the ground in all directions. That mailman turned white, and luckily he used he got up the railing and jumped up on the top of the roof and was screaming for somebody to get that dog, because when Lance stood up, he was taller than me. When he stood up on his back legs, he was like standing up, bleeding profusely from his neck and legs and stuff, because that glass nailed him when he went through. He didn't even, it's like when a dog gets to that point, they don't even recognize that they're damaged. They're going to kill whatever they can kill before they die. They don't give a shit. But he was nice as pie any other time. He was great with kids, great with horses, all that shit. But boy, some things like porcupines and people he didn't know walking in his world.
They got things that trigger him. Grumpy says we need to interact with AI, or else the Marxists will be the ones helping it learn. Yeah, but see, I get the point, but in a way, though, it won't matter, though, Grumpy. It doesn't, just simply because, once again, AI being just the term, so everybody's got their own source code of the AI generator, so it's in the way they program it. It would be nice to think that they're just letting it learn, but they're intentionally. That's why, like when you do some crazy thing like Nazi soldiers from the war, they come up with black Nazis and shit like that, because it's being the coding behind the AI is right now what's being shaded. So you can use it for all the good intentions, but if it has the source coding isn't written to direct that, it's like falling on deaf ears. It's kind of like talking to a flat earther about the globe. It's like you can say and explain every fact under the sun, and at the end of the day, they're still going to go, nope, it's flat. And so then there you go. That's kind of like
what if we got everybody that we know here to every time we go live or make a post, we put the Pledge of Allegiance in there too. What if everyone did that?
Well, I guess if they wanted, it depends. If that was an issue for the people doing the source code, then they will program it to where the AI won't acknowledge that, or it rewrites it into something different. Because there's so many variations to the artificial intelligence. I mean, we have it in devices, but we also are now incorporating it into maneuverability type devices, robots, dogs, the different machines. But we've had it for a long time. Hell, the gaming industry is coming up with what's the latest one? Well, AGI is one too, but they're working on the synaptics of the VR headsets into, and so it's like oops, it's a programming. It's not like a sentient being that's learning. It's been given. It's how do I say this? It's kind of like we know of all the libraries in the world, but if I write a dictionary code and all I write in that code is to just look at these two libraries, then anything that gets put or it's coming out of that source pool. It's not scanning all libraries, and that's like Chat GTP. When you type in Chat GTP, it's not literally web crawling across the web to find you the details. It's only dipping into knowledge pools that have been written into the source code for it to access. And so
they were doing that before the computer. They did that with telephone systems.
Well, it's what your Google search is. Your Google search is the dumbed down AI. Basically, you're saying, hey, how do I tighten this bolt into the Google search engine? And so the search engine is saying, okay, you want to know this. It compiles the sentence and it starts going and retrieving data that associates with that wording. And then it comes back and goes, here's the results. That's like, and it's all adjusted. That's like when you would type in different election stuff, you would get flagged because that's source coding is where the problem lies. And that's what Elon's tried to tell people is this technology is not like a Windows private type thing. This is like a Linux on steroids, because anybody can get the source code to AI. You could start learning programming and get the source code to AI and then start programming your own AI. And it could be Carl's AI. That's how you have all these different AI versions.
I don't want any device that thinks it's smarter than me.
Well, Grumpy, I think some of that was because some of that Gemini did was just so obvious. It's like when you say, hey, show me a picture of George Washington. And because you're so racially motivated with the race card that now every person that you ask to show a picture of becomes up as a black person, then that became very obvious. But that doesn't mean that the subtleness down here in the end. I mean, type in right now about the 2020 election. Ask ChatGTP if there was any fraud during the 2020 election. And it's going to totally shoot that shit out the water. It's not even going to entertain the idea that there was any fraud or anything. Why? Because the people that source coded that said, nope, that was the fairest election that's ever happened. That's the problem I got with that, is it's such a general term and it's being used. You have so many variations. I mean,
Chat's starting to change on us, man.
Hell, Samsung's got their own AI that they deploy on their devices.
The chat is changing the food now. Eric says, damn, that pizza was good. Cha-Cha's right back with, I'm going to make an omelet.
I think the worst thing that can happen is the reliance on AI and the validation of AI. Like the more and more people use AI to write stories or to create a song or to finish this or that, you're just dumbing. I don't mean this in an ugly way. I just don't know another way to really explain what's in my head. But to me, you're dumbing yourself down. It was kind of like when we talk about the internet. We used to have kids that went to libraries. You learned how to research something. You went down index cards. You looked up articles. You went and pulled out books. When the internet came about, all of a sudden that started to go down. Now we actually have a whole generation that doesn't even understand cursive writing, because we've thought, but this is so much easier. Here, it's just easier for me to just email you this real quick. Here, there. This is easier for me to text you. So all of a sudden we stop writing. So I just see it as in another perpetuating down the wrong path. It's like, okay, so the more we go to it and we say, okay, yeah, here, touch this up. Here, will you fine tune this? I do this, chat DD. I'll do this, Gemini. We're not thinking then even more for ourselves. And then eventually we're just going to be sitting around just like those people in that little cartoon that little man watches, with people sitting around in chairs just flying around the ship. going, oh, I'm going to play this, I'm going to play that. And you're playing whatever's available because that's what you're being told, that this is the only option. We stop thinking for ourselves. You know, if you're trying to write something or write a song or do a movie, you should run into roadblocks. It should make you start. That's where your originality comes from. To have a computer finish it, I just think that's part
Who's
of that.
that guy?
Road to hell is paved with the best intentions. I think that's one of those little stepping stones in that path.
Somebody told me that guy Jelly Roll uses artificial intelligence to write his music and lyrics. And ever since I don't know if that's true or not, but ever since I heard somebody tell me that, all his shit sounds the same. I know who it is when I first hear it on the radio, even if it's for the first time. I think that's kind of weird.
Well, they're slowly getting people to where you grow accustomed to what you hear and see. And then the more that, to me, the more that the AI is used and in the entertainment industry, the more it just heads down a darker path. That's my take. Because I think that's what's got us right here. Hell, that's why you I don't know. I don't want to go into no tirade, but that's why I think we're so far stretched and this divided that we are. I don't know that we're so divided as people are just fucking lost because of the shit that they're getting put in their head. And
well,
so,
even back in the day, when I was in grade school, I had two teachers that I remember.
Another reason I watched the podcast I was talking about.
But these teachers were always putting trick questions into their, tests. If you took a test, there would be trick questions. And even back then, the fact that I was different and didn't want to play the games, and I was a rebel, I picked up on some of that shit, which gained praise from those teachers, because I was one of the few people in the class that would catch those trick questions. I just noticed even back then, people weren't always hip to looking at things from more than one angle. You know what I mean?
The digital age has just brought so much, and now when people, and that's what that one guy talks about in that podcast. That's why I think to me, it's a very interesting one to listen to. And you start thinking, don't like go into it trying to go, oh yeah, that's what I just listen and then start thinking about things that you've heard and the way you've seen things and the way and it's like, oh wow, you can see that, even people that want to talk about sheep, but everybody's being fed this information and you're being allowed to see things, and it's for a reason, and it's so that you're not noticing some of the basic stuff.
Well, first off, since this worldwide
AI, but he didn't write it. Oh yeah.
Well, first off, man, they only show us what they want us to know.
And exactly, right? Too many people self-absorbed.
They completely control the narrative of everything.
Well, it's not even a they. It's just they is just people that aren't of good nature is the way I would view the word they, because I'm not into I don't think there's some evil group of Rothschilds or Illuminati or Freemasons. I'm not into all that shit. Those are groups. That's like, because if a dude was a bandito and all of a sudden he becomes the president of the United States, like, see, that was the plan all along. And it's like, no.
I'm going to disagree. I'm almost convinced there's some dude in an all-white polyester suit, bald guy with a big Persian white cat on his lap and big giant pinky ring, sitting there stroking his kitty cat while he's watching all this happen.
The billions. And it's got the mini-me. Because it's like, it's I don't know, it's nature, it's people, it's society, it's people are. I mean, you can go with the whole they're being programmed, but they're allowing themselves to be programmed because of what they participate in. It's like to say that, oh, I don't watch the news media because they tell stories, but then you come on a YouTube, and if you think about this. But I like what this guy says, so this is my news source. Really? Did you validate his shit? Or is it just that he said what you wanted to hear? Oh. And when you really look at it, and I'm not trying to be ugly to nobody, and people want to take fucking hurt feelings, that's all on you shit. This is my observation. It's so easy, and I've said this before, to other examples. If you hear something and it's what you were really wanting, that this caters to what's, you're going to latch onto that. That validates your internal thought. Yep, I'm validating.
Yeah,
but if you hear something to the counter, you're like, no, that's the counter. So you're already going to absorb that in a resistant way because it's counter to what you're thinking. And
you've got to constantly
people
keep
don't absorb and they don't verify afterwards. Do what? I was talking. I didn't hear you.
Well, I'm saying that you got, no expectation, no disappointment. You've always got to have that in your core. Even if it's something you want to believe, you can't invest too much into something that hasn't happened yet. That's like counting your chickens before they hatch or whatever. It's like back in the day when I was always buying stuff and selling stuff online. If I won something incredibly awesome, I didn't really celebrate that until it was actually a done deal. The guy ships it out. It makes it to me unbroken, unsmashed, didn't get lost in the mail. There was no celebration until it was right in my hands, So to me, it's like, yeah, I sure hope that something's going to happen, but I'm not going to be like, oh my God, the world's ended because it didn't happen. You know what I'm saying?
And put in that same perspective, you do understand that the majority of people, when they order something that they really wanted or expected, they're actually at the door every day waiting to see if the delivery guy pulled up. And then whenever they do pull up, they're meeting them at the end of the driveway because they just can't wait to get their hands on that. See, and it's that when you get caught up in the talk and, oh man, then the minute you go to another thumbnail that is pictured or worded, that's what it's supposed to do, is to draw your attention. That's what a thumbnail's for. And so, I mean, so that's why I'm not saying anything bad about anybody. I'm just, this is the field we're playing on. Thumbnails are created to get your attention.
Well,
it's like if you go into the biblical thing, there'll be so many thumbnails that'll talk about, the book of Enoch, revealed. But when you actually listen through most of it, there's nothing about the damn book of Enoch, but they really wanted you there so you'll listen to this other bullshit. And so that happens just so much. It's just
all about controlling your emotions, and your reactions. It's, I've done it many times where I've gotten too excited about something, told the wrong people, and they're going to make damn sure that doesn't happen. It's like almost like I've learned to hide my joy until I actually have it in my hands, because it's happened to me too many times where you don't even know it, but your best friend may be jealous about it. And now he's going to go off and start talking shit around behind your back that you don't even know about. And it
welcome to
sabotages your efforts.
That ought to be in when you create the channel, that ought to be like the welcoming banner from YouTube. Make sure you have Kevlar on the backside because they will come out. And Rabbit, I remember that name. I can't say that I've actually read that particular book. I just remember that name from my youth. I just have no fear of robots. What fears me is the people behind the robots. Because that's, it's kind of like blackjack. Blackjack isn't what made that dude broke. And that dude cheating at cards isn't what made him broke. That dude just had no control, had no discernment, didn't know when enough was enough, and he was just all in till he had nothing left. Well, that's what I worry about with all this. You give up so much of your history and the pride in your country and any accomplishments, and you give up on all that to chase this shit that really goes nowhere and amounts to nothing. And to be quite honest, the globe flat earth shit, unless you're going to get up and spend a few $1 million to go prove one, not really so much one way or the other, because there have been billions of dollars to prove that we're on a globe and there's space and all that cool shit. We look at the James Hubble telescope to this day. But if you're going to do that, but they won't. People just spend countless hundreds and thousands of hours for nothing. And it's the same thing with a bunch of other shit. It's like all the shit with Freemasons and Rothschilds and the fucking aliens, and none of that matters. None of that's affecting your shit day to day. What's affecting your shit day to day is that local judge down there and that county DA and that management in your county or area is changing laws that all of a sudden knocking on your door and you're wondering why your freedoms are being taken away. And it's because you stopped participating here and you kept watching the movie over there.
Amen. What's
What's
up,
up, Miss
Sharon?
Sharon?
What is that? What's that one that says, God, give me the serenity
Oh, it's a
to
serenity prayer. It's
know,
God. Yeah. Give me the
to know
courage to change
what
the
I
things
can.
I can.
Yeah, yeah. Say it. What did you say?
The serenity prayer. It's God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Yes, very well said. Thank you.
Because it's easy. You can, that's why I've talked about before. You can be in an anxiety state, frustrated, anger. You could just get your tax bill. Grumpy hates taxes. So he could get his tax bill. Well, if I'm catering to people that get mad about that, then I can actually time some of my thumbnails or my delivery on tax time. I know when most people are going to get it. So then people like Grumpy, they're going to get theirs. They're going to be pissed off. And then all of a sudden I can get their attention. Well, not that they don't have a valid right to be pissed off, but I can start leading them into something that really isn't going to do a damn thing about that, but I can feed off of their anger. And I think that's what happens with so much. And people want attention. So people watch the clicks go up and the views go up and the watches go up, and then they want to cater more to that. So then if they do some batshit crazy type thing and it gets them attention, they'll do more batshit crazy stuff. Well, the more that goes on, next thing you know, that's all you're really getting. But yet these people, matter of fact, there was a dude who just got through calling Sean Ryan, and that the email he got from that dude was bullshit and that he was a liar. Now this dude has, I think, like 1,000,003 viewers. So he got on there and told people this bullshit because he didn't want to verify anything. He was mad at that Vegas situation, and he doesn't like all the conspiracy stuff and the secrets that are held. So what did he do? He jumped on the first thing. Oh, Sean Ryan, he's one of them. That's all bullshit. That's a lie. He's a liar. And then guess what? It comes out that, oh no, that was a legitimate email, and it actually got sent out to several people from him, that some that even knew him. So all of a sudden, and then now the guy's like, but the damage is done. When you fucking trash somebody or you start repeating a line of shit without verifying it, then you're just part of the problem. And I think that's what's happened with so much shit. I think that's how they got away with 2020. I think that's one reason why they didn't get away with 2024, because I think they were so obvious that there were people that said, oh, hell no, I'm going down and make my voice heard.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it literally became too big to rig. And I think that's why there's senators and representatives that are playing ball right now that might not have normally played ball, because they saw that. Because you got to remember that they're also looking at the numbers there. It's not just that Trump won, but by how, like, that broke statistics, the amount of people, the amount of numbers. And so it just, that's where they come up with their little, America has sent a message. That's what they're talking about, because they saw the numbers. That's the voters.
Well, they've kept us thinking we were way more divided than we really were. There was no question. I mean, look at the support he had at his rallies compared to her rallies. Nobody liked her. Nobody was endorsing her. There wasn't even a real, the ad campaigns even kind of were what Trump wanted anyway. She would say things like, oh yes, he wants to do this and this, and I'd be like, yeah, all right, let's do that, because it was like, if they would have cheated her in, it would have been so obvious. I think I don't think anybody would have bought it. After 2020, if they would have managed to cheat her in again, I don't think people would have just rolled over, man. I think there was too many people that were hip to what was going on. So
I think if they had fucked up, if they had have actually held some little primary and they had have actually like got together and like put somebody up there in place of Biden, I think they would have probably pulled off the thing then, because then they would have had people. But see, that became so exposed, dude. I mean, you got people saying that they're corrupt and that they're lying, and they literally, the Democratic Party literally just primaried somebody without even asking you. You voted for that dude, but we've decided no, we're going this one, and nobody got to see. That woke up half that side over there. There was like, wait, what? And they jumped ship. They weren't counting on that. I think they could have probably pulled it off if they had just kind of went more. But see, they're too far in. They couldn't just let anybody get in that seat. It had to be a hand-picked individual that was part of the shit, and that was her.
I think he's going to do that right away, Gunner. I think he's going to change that Smith-Mundt Act. I think it's on his list.
I hope the FCC is at the top of the thing now, because that's what I told the missus after the 2020 shit was going down. It's like, see, he should have handled the FCC because they're the backbone to all this misinformation. Because then you know, if the FCC actually did their job, you can't be a news station promoting bullshit lies like they did, because that goes against the regulations. But when the corrupt administration is the one promoting it, they're the ones running the FCC. So all of a sudden there's no punishments. That's why all these people are acting all stupid right now. People wonder, Zuckerberg, man, I don't know if I trust Facebook. I wouldn't trust Facebook, but you can't. If you really didn't think that Zuckerberg was going to flip switch when that administration changed, then you just weren't really watching as much as you thought you were, because that's why he changed and did what he did, because the administration got in there and said, you're going to do this. And he knew who was going to lick out the punishment if he didn't. Well, now he knows who's going to lick out the punishment if he continues that. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, you know what? We're going to get rid of them fact checkers. We're not going to do all that. No, we want to be friends. Yeah, because now we're going to have a DOJ. Homie, you can be held accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's time to play ball. All of a sudden you get these news stations that are like, yeah, you know, well, right here on January 6th. And then you still got the little shows like The View that are still fully blown retarded, but there's no hope for some people. They're just gone. They're so far gone, they're gone.
Well, also their audience has shrunk down to a minuscule dot. All right, they have lost all their support, and they just won't admit it. The podcasters are getting more views than CNN now. They just won't admit that. So they've done themselves in already. And me, I'll never trust those organizations again. You know,
you're given two choices, money, because we're a two-party system. And how many? Oh, I think there's going to be some change if the nominations go through and the momentum continues. Oh, there'll be a change, just because it's the people going in are not your ball players. Tulsi Gabbard's not going to want to. She's not going along with the flow. Kash Patel's not fixing to go up there and go along with these people. All suffered some of that shit too. So I mean, they're ready. That's why I think it's a little different.
So do I. I think we're about to see some big changes real fast. And I've said it for months, and you know, everybody thinks I'm dreaming, hoping, but I see action too. You know, if you look for it. Like I said, he plans. There's a report just came out. I sent it to you. It's he plans to sign 100 executive orders on the first day. All right, and you know, like Devil Dog says, Congress and all that, but I think this stuff is real. I think it's going to go places. We'll see. You know, I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'll be up here admitting I was wrong. I got no problem with that. But I think I see a reckoning coming.
Well, this is also the most worldwide largest election over countries at one time. All happened last year. So that's why you're hearing so many changes across the globe, is because there were so many elections for leadership that went down. And I think there is going to be a change, because I think that's where, is it going to be some big, like all of a sudden it's like everything is perfect, man, and you know the birds are coming? No, but I think we'll be on the right path.
When in our life, it's never been perfect. We're not, you know, we're not going to get perfect. Or any improvement at this point. I'd like to see accountability. There's a whole lot of people that would like to see some accountability, where these fucking monsters have to pay for their crimes. That's what I want to see.
Changes will happen because you cannot ignore the repercussions of it. Well, that's true.
I'd like to see all the fucking fake sources exposed.
Well, I got to say, this game right here hadn't been played, though, before, Rabbit. I mean, I think this is because the foundation of our country never existed before. So anywhere else that's something like this, it's just got some similarities, but we're the first free nation that we can either allow and hand it over, or we can take our country back and, we have a solid foundation. So I don't think this is a repeat in history. That's some people look at the Rome but Rome wasn't a free nation. Not like we are. We've adopted some of theirs because they were just kind of like Canada kind of adopted some of ours, but not fully.
No, they have never received accountability yet, Rabbit. We've been watching this stuff go down for so long, it's sickening.
Well, there's not going to be accountability because we don't run the DOJ. So who's going to hold them accountable?
Well, that's what I mean. There's going to be some changes. And I don't think it's just us that feel this way. Look at the guys that have been persecuted now for years. They used lawfare. They used media weaponization. They used all these things to attack these people.
Dude, we just had record numbers show up to vote. Record numbers.
That's right.
That's never happened before. That's why it's called a record number, because it never happened before.
The way I see it, like this Judge Merchant, all right, the whole country is against his actions, and he did it anyway. Now he's got 10 days to live with himself before that's going to fold up in his face, and I just saw Trump say it himself, but I've been saying it for years. If they had any dirt on him, they'd already used it. All right. If he had done anything wrong in his whole damn life, we'd all know about it. All right.
Yeah. Well, that's why I laugh about all the thousands of employees that he has. And it's like, if he was such a bad person, like everybody says, can't you even get like 50 of these thousands upon thousands of employees he has across the country? You can't get 20 people together to come up and go, oh, he's such a bad guy.
There's people that are convinced he's the Antichrist. All right?
Well, but it's not people that work for him, though. That's what I'm saying. There's thousands of people that work for that man, and yet they only say good shit about him if anybody ever questions him. That's why they don't talk to him. Why didn't any of the news stations go to any of the hotels, any of the golf courses, any of the places he owns, and try to get dirt on? Because there's no dirt. You go talk to those people, and they say, shit, he looks out for us.
Well, that's the thing, too, is that Google and all the media, they've hid all those facts. Because I've heard the personal people in his personal life, they praise him. There's
the danger of the AI. See, that's that programming. It's there, but it's not. They're not going to show it to you. That's where if you write the AI and were to ask AI for it, you're probably not going to get shown it. Why? Because it hasn't been put into that database. That's not allowed.
No, but they literally, I watched Google alter their search results over the years because I've been, been doing this a long time, and I've definitely seen the changes. I even just saw somebody's going after Wikipedia. I forget who, but they're going after them to where they're going to hold all those editors accountable that put all the fake bullshit on Wikipedia.
Good. Because that's what we need. We need examples of accountability so people can be reminded that there are repercussions to choices. You're always free to choose, but there are consequences for the choices. And that's what we need to bring that back to the table, because it seems like here the past 10, 15 years, they've slowly let the chains off on some of that. And now it's... Hey, what's up, Huckleberry? What's up, bud? Come dragging in there towards the tail end. I don't know, man. I guess it's just the approach. I've never gone into a job or to a fire or anything, always dwelling on the worst scenario for it. I don't know, I guess to put it in some kind of little goofy way, you know what? Every time I shot a hose at something, I thought I was making progress. And so I've just approached life that way. I just can't linger in the all is gone and nothing's ever going to work. I just can't do it. I just ain't got it in me. I'm not wired that way. I've just, if I look at the layout without all the rim roar and all the outside crap, and I look at what is our process? Okay, we do have a voting process. So these people are elected in. So there is the Common Core thing. Okay, so then I just need to start filtering out all the stuff that tries to keep me from doing that. And that's what I try to do, because I just can't. I think that we wouldn't have just had
I got to
had
anyway.
been a good wake-up call of a lot of people. So I know I'm not alone now. That election showed me that there are other people that think that this can be fixed, that we can change this, because they showed up. Somehow they got stirred enough to show up.
Yeah. And I've always been like, not only am I a glass half full kind of guy, but I'm hey, I got a glass to go get more. You know, I get you. I can't be pessimistic or negative, because it'll get me nowhere. Right? It'll get you in a worse position to be that way. I have to move forward with some type of positivity. You know, even if the situation sucks, I have to find a path. You know, I get it.
Well, it's like Tiger said, I prep because that's the way I was raised before it was called prepping. I know, and that's what I said years ago when I first started this. It took me a little bit to even kind of comprehend, well, what is this prepping? And then I realized, and I don't mean no disrespect to nobody, but prepping in this environment is the apocalyptic movie thing. And see, we've just always stuck extra food up because you don't know when your power is going to go out because of a damn storm, tree fall on the line. I mean, it was just natural stuff. It wasn't because of the big bad wolf's fixing to take us out kind of thing. It wasn't because of the end of the world. It was just you put stuff up in that pantry because, well, you might not have electricity. You might not can make it to the end of town to the store. You just, plus a lot of it is also back then you used to didn't go every week to a store, so you made a grocery run once a month. And then you had the rest of all your stuff there at the house. So you didn't make. See, that's where I think there's a big difference between living closer to a city versus rural, because the farther you get out, it changes your day-to-day behavior because you don't have those accesses like that. It's like people, how many stories do people talk about delivering pizza and getting, there is no delivery of nothing out here. You can go meet them 10 miles down the road at a truck stop if you time it right. And there's actually only one pizza place that'll do that. But so it's a different way of life. Where if you get closer, all of a sudden you have quicker access to stuff.
Cheryl doesn't like the term lurking. You can also call it observing, Cheryl.
Or you're just listening in.
A conscientious observer, observation. You can be one of them. You can just be an observer. That's less creepy.
That's it. You just wrote it down, and you went and picked up whatever you were missing. That's why I think that that's why I think some you'll see emerging in the prepping community from people that just kind of got on board of storing some stuff and maybe wondering about their electric and what they'll do because of current events. But then there are thousands upon thousands of people that just kind of grew up that way because, well, you didn't go to the store every day. You didn't go every week. You didn't, and your power might go out because a damn tree might fall over on it or something, and shit happens. And so you just learned how to do that stuff, and it just was nature. It's just like, I'd never thought about it until I got into this game. And then I'm like, wait, what? That's prepping? I thought that was just getting your groceries. You mean y'all actually only buy the food you're going to eat? I mean, because I thought everybody bought like a case of soup when you bought soup. It
depends, man. Living down south, I remember in the 80s, they had something called ABC stores. They were state-owned liquor stores. So everybody would go buy all their liquor for the month. They would, save up their money, go drive halfway across the state, go to this one of a couple ABC stores, buy a trunk full of liquor, and that'd last them for the month. You had to stock up and plan ahead, because you didn't want to have to drive across the state 20 times a month,
Son of a gun, I'm from Southeast Texas. What do you mean, Bonnie? I hope to be proven wrong. What? Because you think we're all doomed?
Yeah.
See, you got, man, I won't, but you got to watch all them channels, man, because that's all they focus on. They focus on all that. And if that's where you focus, then that's what's in your head. I mean, get out and focus on fixing stuff.
Gunner, I'm in Michigan. I was born and raised in Michigan, but I've been around a few places.
Hey, Hillbilly. Been a minute.
What's up,
Staying warm up
1776?
there.
And yeah, what I think it was. Oops, what did he say? Oh no, it was Tuck. You can be pessimistic yet persistent and hopeful? Question mark. I'm pretty sure that's me. That's kind of like, that's discernment in its own way, but it's also sarcastic humor, man. I think humor gets me through a lot of this shit. Try to make a joke of something just to.
Oh yeah, the humor helps. Humor helps a lot. Oh, Bonnie, I know I'm with you on that, man. It's fixing to be a rough ride. Hell, it's fixing to be. Matter of fact, I worry about us down here because here I think it's in the 8 or 9 days, maybe 10. But we've got the Chevron Marathon that goes down before the inauguration down here in Harris County in Houston, and with all the stuff going down with Abbott and Paxton doing all the fighting and the way that everything's kind of going on his way out the door, I kind of wonder, between the Vegas and you had the Florida thing and you kind of go, you know what? And then I kind of looked at the running map of that marathon and I'm like, oh, wow, that spot right there just kind of looks like you'd probably get majority of spectators and even participants. So, yeah, I think we're in for a hell of a rocky road.
Yeah,
because you're basically the criminals are being forced out the door, and I'm sorry, the bank holdup is going down, and they're not going to fix it to come out with their hands up. So shit's going down. What's up, Savage?
Good to see you, Savage. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting year for sure, Eric.
But I think it's so easy to get. It's like I said, you watch some of those channels, like the channel that did the whole, Sean Ryan's a liar. He didn't get that. Well, he really did. And then so you wonder about the impact. Okay, well, who all listened to that? And then who went out there and repeated that, and it kept trickling, and it still goes probably to this day, because that's what happens. And it's like, what does it even matter? And I just find it ironic because you hardly ever hear people talk about your vote matters, and it's like, that's the one true power you have.
Well, when I first started doing social media years and years ago, I saw a meme that I haven't forgot. All right. I think I even still have it somewhere on a hard drive. But the meme said, don't even bother to vote. The choice is already made.
Yeah.
And that bothered me ever since I seen that some 15 or more years ago. That's
repeated now to this day. It's still repeated. Yeah.
That bothers me, man. I wasn't going to, it just made me want to be more active. All right. It's like,
But you know what, Savage? See, you're doing the push-ups, and that's the thing. Because I don't know. I think that the energy, and that's where I was getting first, because I got caught up in it. And then you start to really feel it's like, man, what? And that's what kind of clued me in. I just realized that, wow, I'm absorbing this like all the time. I mean, no matter where I go, it's this. And so no wonder and because I counter to a lot of it, like when the moon stuff, everybody likes to laugh. And that used to just, now I don't care, man. It just, I kind of chalk that up with the whole, if I feel like you've really put in work, then I can listen. But if this is just, okay, so you followed a trending topic, yay.
Eric, let's just put it this way. I wouldn't want to be where I'm at right now if shit went haywire. All right. So I'm down for that. If I would rather be mobile if shit gets bad. So.
Well, I'll be digging my heels in until they force me out.
This wouldn't be a good area to be in.
Oh, yeah, no, I just have shit. If I rented this place or this was a new thing, then, yeah, I wouldn't mean it. But this is.
And I can't. Here. I got bad tires and all that shit here, but the whole time.
Well, you got your new tires now.
Well, I got new tires. They still ain't on the rims. All right, that's happening very soon. But point is I've always kept it at least to where I could drive to where I would have to, because I've got several places within 50 miles, or there's a couple of them within a couple 100 miles that I know would be a lot better place to be in. You know, I've always kept a plan like that to get out of here. All right.
Yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, if you're in a concentrated area, I wouldn't want to be there.
Yeah, I mean, I've got enough fuel and cans and everything to where I know I could make it somewhere better. Very soon I'll be able to go where the fuck I want to. That's the game is gonna change, and I'm gonna have to buy StreamYard. It's like $45 a month or something to get the updated plan. But I was reading about it, and there, even if you do that, it's only 50 hours of recorded time a month. So, I mean, it's better than 20. You know, they give you free 20 hours, but you get 50. So, even if I am live all the time, I'm going to have to mix that up with video and live, because if you use all your live up in less than 3 days, you know.
Later, son of a gunner. Appreciate you coming by. More than welcome anytime. And I just had to scroll up to see what Oops had said. And yeah, I don't think we're doomed.
No, I mean, he won. All right. That was a big step for me. Ever since he actually won and they didn't steal it again, I've had better hopes.
Well, I'm looking at overall, and, you know, it just, the chance to do good things and make good changes are there. So I'm not saying it's a one and done. I'm just saying, you know, something has changed, and you can either look at that as a positive, or you can go ahead and assume it's a negative. And to me, that affects your day-to-day life. And, you know, I don't mean this insultive, but I feel for you, because, man, that's just a waste. I mean, hell, there's such awesome things going down every day just with Mother Nature itself. I mean, just there's so much that's happy to be here.
That's the thought.
I don't always feel that way, so I ain't trying to do some preaching session. So, I mean, I get it. There's bad days, but I don't know. I think that's why you got to make a conscious effort of putting the good stuff in. So when you do feel the bad stuff, it doesn't have a life of its own to live on.
Wingnut just made a really good point. He said I could make multiple accounts. Like I could do one whole account just for the live streaming for while I'm driving.
Well, no, he's talking about you do several, so that way when you hit the 20 on this one, then you just start doing them on this one where you got 20, and then when you run out of that, you can do it on this one for do the 20.
Right, but that
you can still point it to the same YouTube channel, but you create different StreamYard accounts.
Oh, well, see, that way I could direct, like I said, I could do one when I was just driving, because I'm not going to be able to interact with chat while I'm driving, but I could keep this channel for doing like the meetups. When I'm there with you, we could do a live together on my channel, you know, that kind of thing. And then I could just do the videos nonstop. I don't think there's any limit to that.
Oh yeah, Cheryl, if you sign up for that big plan, then but StreamYard's changed their billing. That's why I left them, because I couldn't. I'm like, holy shit, dude. You try to do the paid version, that shit's like high dollar shit a month. And it was like, oh crap, no, okay, for just a little over $100, I get the whole year with this.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into options, because I'm a frugal son of a gun that ain't got a lot of money. So,
but I will say you won't ever get an unlimited as far as on YouTube. YouTube cuts it off at 12 hours.
I went 40 hours, but they don't record or keep it.
Right. You only got recorded 12 hours.
You're right.
Right, because they're going to cut everything but 12 hours out. Now, you'll still have it on StreamYard. StreamYard will let you download it. But as far as YouTube, cuts you out at 12 hours. Now, you can keep going. It's not that you're not going to show it. It won't cut your show off. It just, the recording will just start saving the last 12 hours. So you go 36 hours, 24 of those is not going to show up, only the last 12. And
well, that's another thing, though. It's like they didn't even let me keep any of that 40-hour stream I did. but they didn't cut me off. So as long as you can keep that stream going and let you go, the thing is if you end the stream, they won't let you start another one if your time is used up. Because I can't start another live until after.
Your time. Yeah, your time
Yeah.
effect. That's why Wingnut was talking about multiple StreamYard accounts, because then you can go over to, if you're out of the hours on that one, then you just go to log in on your next StreamYard account, which still points to your Carl channel. And then you got 20 hours on that one. And if you do it, so if you do like 3 or 4 of those StreamYard accounts, then that'll give you 60 to 80 hours of streaming time.
Well, if I was like live on my regular channel right now and I was getting ready to leave your house, I could tell everybody, hey guys, I'm getting ready to leave. Check me out on my other stream. I'm going to go live while I drive, you know. Could be like that.
Oh, did you miss it whenever I crashed it, Rabbit?
Oh, look at Bonnie. There's no way I get to meet you before I meet Bonnie.
Well, you kind of got to pass by her to get down here.
Well,
depending on which way you come. Now, if you go down into Louisiana, you can actually shoot over here without ever having to go over to that side of Texas. But
I went from the north side. I went that way through Texas once. That's a long fucking drive, man. All the way across, diagonally across the state. I went and saw Corpus Christi. I went into Louisiana from that side. I've been up through Texas.
It's been a minute.
I've been up through Texarkana, and then there's several times I come down through Oklahoma into the Panhandle that way. And we went all the way down to, you know, the Alamo, and I've been to Carlsbad Caverns in New Mexico that way, you know. But you guys got a huge fucking state. People don't realize it until you have to drive Texas to know just how big
we got all the different climates too.
You see everything.
Oh, okay,
you got everything. You guys got mountains, you got canyons, you got desert, you got forest, you've got oceanfront footage. You guys got it all.
The great nation of Texas. Yeah, actually, Rabbit, I was kind of worried when that happened. I was kind of freaked me out. I thought about that the other day, going, man, yeah, that was something. I wiped out in my chair when I went up to the Missouri meetup. I came off of this rocky hill and hit the road, and as I turned, it went, oh, shit, and I tipped over. Tiger's husband came over to help, and I think it was him and Jeremy. They came over to help me up. I was down. Chair down, chair down. Savage says, maybe never say never. I am only on the other side of Texas, 30 miles over the line. There you go.
30 miles over into Louisiana,
Arkansas, then Texarkana, down by Houston, then south.
Well,
that whole toilet bowl of Houston, man.
Whether or not Craig the Hunter's going to do it with me or not, I am going to spend the night down there in them star forts. There's a few of them. They run from like the Florida coast all the way over to Texas. You know what them star forts I'm talking about are, Rescue?
I think so. I think I know where you're talking.
You know, some of them were from like Revolutionary War time. Some of them were, Civil War era. But they're by star fort. They're like a diagonal pattern of stone and masonry forts right on the coast. And some of them are run by the parks and stuff. But there's one down in Louisiana that's abandoned. All right, and it's supposed to be haunted, and it's massive and kick-ass looking. And I just have to spend the night there. What's up, Metal?
Anarchy. Yes, it does. Drives from east to west during the summer, buddy. That's some hot shiznit. What's up, Cherokee?
Cherokee, what's going
on? Oklahoma. I'm in the deep southwest Oklahoma, about 6 hours away. Oh, one of the people that I watch, he hangs out with Bear Independent. His channel name is the Buckets and Bibles. He lives in Oklahoma, and he was showing this morning like they got like 9 to 11 inches or some shit. I was like, holy crap. There you go,
Eric. In 1970, Rescue, my mom and me were driving through the Oklahoma Panhandle headed towards Amarillo, and we hit this dust storm. And I remember the sky turning black. You could see it in the back coming. All right, you could see it when it hit us. It was like a wall. All right, and all the traffic pulled off on the sides of the road because you can't see a car in front of you.
Yes,
all right? It was It was the craziest thing I'd ever saw when it comes to dust storms. Anyways, it kind of, mellowed out enough to where we could drive again. And we're driving, there's dunes formed on the highways and shit just from that storm already. And we get all the way down to Amarillo, pull into my grandpa's driveway. When we got out of her brand new Le Mans, completely one half of her brand new Le Mans was sandblasted to bare metal and already starting to rust a little. All right.
Pontiac Le Mans. Well, those are cool cars.
That fucking sandstorm sandblasted that car right down the middle. Half of the car was to the steel.
Old Stone Cold Steve Austin. Well, Eric's going to open up a club in Austin called the Austin Titty Limits.
I'm kind of surprised they don't have that already.
Thanks, Anti. There's Buckets and Bibles link.
They got real dust storms down there. You guys don't get them on your part of Texas?
No, I'm in the Piney Woods. So we got pine trees. This is logging industry around here. It's been high 40s here in Northwest Florida, and now it's raining, and it's 42 right now, and it sucks. I do not want to be in any of those places that have a lot of snow right now. Right?
Do they call it the Pine Barrens where you're at, like they do in New Jersey and here in Michigan? Because Michigan's got a lot of pine too.
No, that's actually what it's referred to as, is the Piney Woods.
Oh, all right, right on.
That's actually the name of it, the Piney Woods.
And they're all what kind of pine?
Most of them are bull pines.
We don't have those.
Those are the deep taprooters.
Wonder if it's the same pine tree, but we call it something different here.
What, do you got the fine pine needles? Or do you
got
the short ones?
Douglas fir has the finest needles. You got white pine, that's a fine long white needle, but we've got these gnarly ones they call jack pines, and we've got blue spruce, and I mean there's a whole bunch of pines here.
These are yellow pines.
Okay, all right. We get some of that. We've got yellow pine in certain areas.
They're good for lighter fluid. You get pine, lighter pine. Cut your logs and you cut your little sliver off the inside of the wedge. And you need it as a lighter pine. It'll light right up because of the sap.
In the 1800s, most of Michigan was leveled because of the white pine. There was really the prime lumber back in the day. So they completely leveled most of the UP and Lower Peninsula of Michigan. And we're shipping the stuff out on trains and ships and stuff. But they've only been a few patches that were preserved. They call the Pierre Marquette National Forest, where you have virgin white pine trees. And they're a whole different category. These things are monsters. I haven't seen the sequoia or the redwoods yet, but I don't think they're quite like that. But they look dang near prehistoric compared to the rest of the pine
forest. Redwoods are awesome, man. That's the one thing I can say about the Northwest, man. I would love to just go up just to walk amongst all the redwoods and shit, dude. Those are awesome.
See that too. I gotta see that. I've even got pictures of my family that had been there and stuff, way back in the 50s and 40s and stuff. I gotta see it too, Rescue. That's Grand Canyon and all that stuff. I have yet to see. There's a lot out there I haven't seen. I don't know if I mentioned it to you, but I just found out there's a 23-mile long road. I can drive down to the Colorado River in the bottom of the Grand Canyon. It's on an Indian reservation, and it's not a widely used area. They launched the rafts and shit down there, but that's my plan. I want to go. I want to see the canyon from the bottom view.
Oh yeah, Cherokee says they are called white yellow pines. Perfect firewood. Yeah, see, not down here, because these yellow pines down here you don't want to use for no firewood. Your stack will go so sooted up, it'll be unbelievable. Nobody uses pine. Now use it out in the outside fire pits. But no cooking with pine, and don't use pine in the fireplace.
The difference with my setup, though, is it's so easy to clean. You know, I can burn a bunch of pine in my wood stove, and then all I have to do
you
is
can burn it. It's just that the soot becomes flammable, so that's why it's not a
right.
Why
Creosote buildup. It's called a creosote buildup, and that's why you got chimney sweeps and stuff. But with this old style, you know, I could just tap the stovepipe, and it'll fall right back down into the stove and burn up.
Right. That'd be the only reason to go over there to the northwest.
No, I want to see Slab City. I want to see Glass Beach. I want to see the Redwoods. I want to see Death Valley. There's several things in that region I would really like to see.
I've been to Death Valley. I got pictures. I showed them one time on a stream. That was way back when I was young. I flew over there with a guy that used to write for the magazine called Western Horseman. My dad raised horses and shit, so I showed the pictures of Roots and Milkmaid and all them were up here. I showed them on screen. I was young, had my hat on. I was on the plane. All the stewardesses kissing me on the cheek. But yeah, I went over there. I got to go see all the footage placed for the OK Corral, Tombstone, all those different locations. It was pretty cool.
Hey, Ross.
Do that as an adult again. What's up, Ross? You caught me at the tail end. I'm fixing to wrap her up. I got to make a phone call.
Right on, man. It's good talking to you and everybody else.
Yeah, good visiting with you, Carl. You're welcome anytime.
Well, you keep saying that. I'm headed that direction sooner than later now. Things are coming together.
Come on down.
Can't wait, man. I haven't been to Texas in a long time. You know, actually, cold weather would probably be the wisest thing for me to do that. You know, what you guys call cold is going to seem pretty nice to me.
Right.
I don't know, man. I've endured that heat when I was younger. I just think it would be pretty hard on me at this age. You know, I don't plan on working on any mason crews at 110 degrees anymore.
There you go. Let's see. I'm going to go put this one up.
You're going to probably jam out. I'm going to jump down. I love y'all. I'll see y'all somewhere soon.
All right, brother. Appreciate you, Carl. Be safe. Stay warm. And we will see you. Yeah, I'm going to transition my little screen to this one. Hey, I appreciate everybody being here. It was good to get caught up with everybody. We shoot the shit. I got some things in my head, so, you know, I don't know. We might see more of the Cluckin Alamo. Just kind of have to think it through. But hey, I appreciate everybody. I hope y'all make it a good day. Stay warm, stay dry, and stay alert to things. Pay attention. And do what you can to make your day better. You're the one in control of it. Oh, Indy, happy birthday. The girl might be of drinking age by now. Dag nabbit. Hey, take care, everybody. I appreciate y'all. Peace.
I ain't here tomorrow. If the good Lord says it's my time to go, I don't see that morning sunset. There's some things I need for you to know. The truck is yours if you want it. It'll run forever if you treat it right. When you think of me on some back road, that's because I'm right there by your side. Chase your dreams until you catch on. Leave your doubts in a cloud of dust. You can't ever love too big. You can't call your mom too much. don't forget how much I love you. I ain't here tomorrow.
Take care, everybody. Be sure and make your day a good day. You're the one in the driver's seat. Don't let anybody tell you different.
Don't let life turn you bitter. Don't be ashamed about your head. Take it easy on the liquor. Remember what it did to your granddad. Yeah, you're gonna get your heart broke, but a couple of tears don't make you weak. Gonna find that girl God made just for you. Knows what he's doing, wait and see. Chase your dreams until you catch on. Leave your doubts in a cloud of dust. You can't ever love too big. You can't call your mom too much. Do your best to get it right. Forgive yourself when you don't. Hope you don't forget how much I love you. I ain't here tomorrow.
Just face things as a challenge for you to overcome. Don't fall for the negative. Make it a good day. Of course, it's all into you and how you want to take things in. I appreciate y'all visiting with me. It's the Cluckin Alamo. Peace, everybody.
Keep the shotgun in the family. Raise your babies by the book. And keep my picture in your wallet. Keep your car keys on a hook. Do your best to get it right. Forgive